car buying, that's electrifying. Yes, a great ride and go. You'll be smiling. Elk Grove, get your motor in, open road in, whip down, turn it into a highway. The Elk Grove Kia, peace of mind guarantee. Is a 20-year or 200K warranty. No hassle, no worry, you bet you'll ask anybody who can turn your highway into a smileway.
Spring is here, and Elk Grove Kia has some incredible offers, like the all-new, all-electric EV6 for just $549 plus tax. What about the sporty Niro EV all-electric, just $397 plus tax? Worried about credit? Don't! Elk Grove Kia's team has over 100 years of combined finance experience. Bad credit? No problem. Elk Grove Kia says yes when others say no. Both payments are examples of 36-month leases, $3,999 customer cash with assignment plus DMV registration and taxes. 10 day per year, 20 cents per mile over, subject to Kia finance approval, 720 plus FICO score to qualify. Offers hires 4/30/2023. One with this name, CV6 GK8609, Euro EV GK8598.
Elk Grove Kia.
Doing it up. Oh, yeah. KH2KAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the flagship station of your Sacramento Kings.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Gerlach with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings' dream season came to an end yesterday when they lost to the Warriors 120-100 in Game 7 at home. Warriors guard Stephen Curry had a monster game, scoring 50 points along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Warriors will now host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday in the Western Conference semifinals. There are 2 NBA games today. First will be the Boston Celtics hosting the Philadelphia 76ers for Game 1 of their series. And that will be followed by the Suns at the Nuggets. The Nuggets currently have a 1-game lead after their 125-107 win over the Suns on Saturday. Those are your headlines. Now let's get to Chris and Company with Kyle Madsen.
Curry has it, puts it on the floor with the right-hand dribble, stumbles, scoops, scores. How in the world does he do it? Curry with 6 seconds to go. He gets a screen, curls left, 2 defenders there. Finds Thompson for 3 to beat the buzzer, and he was fouled as he hits the triple. 1.4 seconds to go. Draymond Green hands to Curry. Steph drives inside, twister for the reverse. Add 2 more to his tally. How about Steph Curry with a 40-point ball game? Curry beats a double-team trap, goes inside, scoops and scores, and Steph Curry has a 50-point ball game. Kings fans, those that weren't standing for the final minutes, come to their feet. They will salute their heroes as the Warriors will just count down the final seconds. 10 seconds left in this season for Sacramento. The 38th year of the Kings in California's capital city. It will end in disappointment. A Game 7 opportunity goes in the direction of the Warriors.
I don't want to tell anybody how to feel.
So don't.
That's not my goal tonight. If you're sad, be sad.
Mm-hmm.
If you're happy, be happy. It is not my job to tell anybody how to feel. That was rough.
Yeah, that was a definitely not the quarter that you wanted to be your last quarter of the season for sure. That was, it was a good game for about 2.5 quarters there. It felt like we were going to get an all-time classic.
Yeah,
of a Game 7.
A lot of back and forth.
And then the back and forth stopped, and it became pretty one-sided and disappointing way to end the game. But
how are you?
Okay.
Like, how would you describe your emotion today?
I'm fine. I'm totally fine today. Even going into yesterday's game, before the game, I didn't feel tons of anxiousness or nervousness. Not even really excitement. I mean, I was obviously excited for the game, but not
in the building for Game 7.
I was like, it doesn't really faze me, I'm just built different.
You're built for this.
Yeah, I'm quite literally built for Game 7. So, I just thought it was all on the Kings' performance. Like every game this series, to me, felt like it was all dependent on how the Kings played, and maybe that's just me obviously viewing this from the Kings side of things, but. To me, it felt like when the Kings hit their shots, they won games, and when they didn't, they didn't win the games. And it sounds super simple, but it bared out in tons of different ways. But, at the end of the day, yeah, the Kings didn't make enough shots on top of a couple other things that we'll get into. But, it's unfortunate that they couldn't, execute and they just didn't make shots. But, it's okay. It's all right.
That's the thing that stuck out to me was nothing happened in this series that made me think, oh, okay, the Kings regular season was some kind of weird fluke.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And not that I thought that going into the playoffs at all.
No, for sure.
But there's nothing that happened in these 7 games or even in the game 7 itself that went, okay, there need to be wholesale changes made moving forward.
Right.
And there will be time to discuss all that. But I'm with you, man. I went into the series feeling like, hey, the Kings are probably top to better, the better team. Like or top to bottom, the better team.
Yeah.
They were better all year. They had a couple of all-stars and they're young and
a little deeper.
Definitely a little deeper. And that experience factor just kind of, I think, played out in game 5.
Totally.
Down the stretch.
Yeah.
And then in game 7, over the final, like you said, probably 15 to 18 minutes of that game.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean,
it happens. Like, especially against the defending champs.
Least,
there's
nothing outside of defend Steph Curry better.
Right.
But like, you don't,
nobody does that.
Right. I was really, really impressed yesterday.
Yeah.
With how fast Sacramento came out of the gates. I thought they played really well for certainly the first half. You go into halftime with a lead, and the Warriors, honestly, to me, looked cooked. Like Clay wasn't playing well. Steph obviously was really good, but you figured he couldn't do it alone.
Yeah.
And then just the basket tightened up a little bit.
In my opinion, that's kind of from the Golden State. Like I said, the game felt like it was open for the Kings. I think the Kings could have survived a 50-point Steph Curry game and still won because of, like you're saying, like the Warriors didn't really have much of anybody else. I mean, Wiggins hit a couple shots. Clay hit a couple timely shots, but throughout the game, I mean, after the first quarter really was a non-factor, wasn't giving them much of anything. Draymond didn't score like he did in that game 5. They really didn't have any other options besides Steph Curry, please go save us. And so it felt like the Kings had an opportunity to win the game. I mean, to win the game 7.
Yes.
And, we can start to get into it, but that third quarter, I mean, just, and anybody, it doesn't have to be someone who watches a ton of basketball. Anyone who just watched that game could have told you, you can't give up as many offensive rebounds as the Kings did in that third quarter and expect to win any basketball game. I mean, 13 offensive rebounds they allowed in that third quarter alone.
That's a lot in a game.
It is. That is a ton in a game.
Yeah.
And they got it all in one quarter. And the sad thing is the Kings got the stops.
Yes.
They did the hard part.
Yes.
They managed to slow down this. The Warriors shot 43% in a game 7 where Steph Curry shot over 50%.
Good Lord.
Everybody else couldn't shoot.
Yeah.
They did the hard work.
Yes.
They just couldn't end the possessions. And, we talked about the little things, the limiting second chance points, the possession battles, the turnovers actually on both sides were really impressive. Like, it was a pretty clean played game.
Pretty high level game. Yeah.
Like, again, another positive to take from the Kings is they played really high level basketball for 7 games here against the defending champs who were just able to match that high level. Not every team that's in the playoffs can play to that high of a level that the Kings were able to reach. And that's something they should absolutely take moving forward. But, just again, they little things, like you said, the experience came into factor clearly in that game 7. The Kings just didn't have it. But now that's no longer, I don't want to say an excuse, but now the Kings have that experience to use and to build upon. And it's just a matter of next seasons moving forward. Do they make these same mistakes? Do they learn from this experience? Only time will tell. But I mean, I was incredibly impressed by how the Kings played. I don't understand how you can really feel, you can feel upset at individual moments or, individuals, but as a collective, they were really impressive.
Game 7 went how I was imagining game 6 would go. Like the Warriors get that win at Golden 1, and then it's game 6. They're at home, and they're just going to kind of pull away eventually. And it was the Kings that kind of
they did
stuck it to them in that game. That was very impressive as well.
Right. The
As
game
we
6.
start kind of
Let's
trying
not
to
forget
reflect
about
on-
game 6.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. And then I didn't think they were intimidated by the game 7 coming out, but I definitely think down the stretch as the lead got to 10, that started to tighten things up. And that to me happens to, I think, any team in that spot.
Yeah.
But if Sacramento's playing any other team in the West yesterday,
right,
it feels like they might come out with a W.
Yeah.
That was impressive.
Like actually any other team in the West. Like it
Yeah, they played like really well, and they didn't hit shots, and I thought the Warriors did a pretty good job defensively, especially like on Malik Monk. The Gary Payton on Malik Monk was an adjustment that the Warriors made. I was interested at first in the heavy Terrence Davis minutes.
Yeah.
And then it got to be too many. And I that was kind of a question I had, but I mean, they played really well in a game 7. And it just, one team's got to win and one team is going to lose. And this is the thing. If I'm trying to find some silver linings, I also think that this series and this game go differently if De'Aaron Fox is healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, not trying to make excuses or whatever it is.
And you're not also saying the Kings win this game 100%.
No, definitely not. Yeah. But it was just really clear when Steph got going. It's like Fox is a player, and this is one of my takeaways from the series. De'Aaron Fox is a player who can go and is willing to go shot for shot with another great player like that was in Steph Curry. And the Kings just yesterday didn't have that because De'Aaron was whatever percentage of himself he was, it was not 100%.
No.
It was not the player we saw through the first few games. No. And that's another, again, it doesn't help.
Yes. It doesn't help the situation. Definitely.
It's not like, oh, hey, actually feel better now because but when you're trying to look at
why it happened,
this series and why it happened and what happened, it's like, there's
a
really
clear
big
turn
factor
point. Right. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I mean, you can say, but De'Aaron played with that same finger and played well in game 6. He was clearly different. I mean, honestly, I would say it wasn't even the shot that I really noticed his finger. It was more the ball handling. I mean, there was so many uncharacteristic just losing the ball when driving. It felt like, obviously Golden State knew his finger was messed up, and so it felt like they were swiping a lot at the ball every time he drove, which is a great strategy. If someone has a busted finger and you should probably attack it, and Golden State did a great job at that. But you're right. To me, it felt like there were so many times where they just needed an answer to stop the bleeding a little bit on some of those Golden State runs.
Yes.
And that's typically where De'Aaron steps up. He will score in two, they'll get a bucket. De'Aaron will just run right down the floor off a make and score within 5 seconds, it feels like, and just completely kills the momentum. Funny enough, yesterday, and it was a huge positive for me taking out, that guy was Keegan Murray yesterday, as funny as it was. And it didn't, it clearly didn't slow down the bleeding, and the Kings need somebody who's not Keegan to do that. That's a tough situation for a rookie to be in. But I was really impressed with how Keegan stepped up in those moments and hit a couple runners down the lane. Obviously, there was a couple that he also short-armed as well. But the Kings needed that guy to be that slump buster. And it was really apparent, especially these last 2 games, that the only 2 guys that Mike Brown really felt like could create offense for this team were Malik Monk and De'Aaron Fox. Nobody else really he trusted to have the ball in their hands.
Let's hit pause on this for 90 seconds. We're talking silver linings from this series for the Kings. And you brought up Keegan Murray, and he was maybe the biggest silver lining coming out. I'll tell you why in 90 seconds. I'm Kyle Madsen. That's Chris Watkins. This is Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
Great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? when it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
I'm Kyle Madsen. I'm company today. That's Chris Watkins. He's Chris today. We're talking Warriors Kings Game 7. We're streaming live on YouTube at youtube.com/SactownSports1140. Shout out to everybody watching there. We appreciate you. If you're driving, if you're on your way to work or on your way home and you're going to get out of the car and stop listening, hey, you don't have to. You can just jump on YouTube.
No. Yeah.
youtube.com/SactownSports1140.
Hold up the phone to your ear. That's what I do sometimes.
Sactown Sports 1140 app. Got all those options. Sean Cunningham from Fox 40. He's going to join us at noon. Going to get his thoughts on not just Game 7 and not just this season or this series, but just kind of the season as a whole.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll talk to him at noon. We've been talking good things to take away from Game 7. From the series. If you want to contribute there, you can text us at 339-1140. You can give us a call, 916-339-1140 or 1-800-920-1140. What are some of the silver linings for you in this series? And Chris, you brought up Keegan Murray, and it's a 1A, 1B for me. De'Aaron Fox is the 1A, and we'll talk about
in more
De'Aaron
than one
moving
way.
forward.
He's a 1A.
But the Keegan Murray aspect of Game 7.
Yeah.
And the series as a whole. When this series began, through the first couple of games, the Kings are winning, but Keegan was not only shooting it poorly, but he looked lost. Like he looked in his face like, I'm not supposed to be here. And it's tough. Like being a rookie and contributing in year one alone, being a good player in your first year is really hard.
Very hard, especially in the playoffs. Yes.
So being as good as he was in the regular season was big. Being in the postseason as a rookie and being a starting member of a number 3 seed, that just doesn't happen.
30 plus minutes. Yeah.
That's a really tough spot. And so I was not going to blame him. I was not going to pull the plug on Keegan Murray, but it just wasn't super. It
wasn't what you wanted to
see. Not encouraging.
Yeah.
But then the end of Game 3, knocks down a 3, knocks down a couple of shots. And from that point on, he figured it out. And he looked like he belonged in the series. And I know in Game 5, he didn't shoot after the first quarter.
Right. Still had a good first quarter.
Had a very good first quarter. And I don't think that was a Keegan Murray issue.
Fault. No.
The fact that he figured out how to play in the playoffs on the fly.
Huge.
Is enormous.
Huge.
That's of all the things he did so many good things in his rookie year.
Yeah.
He's going to be an all rookie team. He's 5th place in rookie of the year voting. Could have maybe been a little higher. This playoff series, these 7 games, and his path in those 7 games where his trajectory only went up. And he was the only other player yesterday that felt like, man, he's a little bit dangerous today.
Yeah. 100%.
I was unbelievably impressed with Keegan Murray.
Same. Absolutely. As someone who, was up and down on Keegan throughout the season, just wanting to see more, but slowly seeing him develop in real time as games were going on, that the same exact process played out during the postseason where, like you're saying, the first 2 games lost.
Looked unplayable.
Like, seriously, like we might need to have Keegan Murray conversations about his confidence.
They were seeking him out on defense.
Yes.
He's not hitting shots.
Yep.
Didn't go well.
Did not go well at all. And it got to the point where it was like, do we need to bring Keegan off? Me and Whitey were talking. It was unfortunate. I mean, Trey Lyles just wasn't playing good enough to justify inserting into the starting lineup. In my opinion, that's kind of the only reason why they didn't seriously consider it. But the rest of the series, you mentioned, the end of game 3 in that blowout, they kept Keegan in. Seemed like a weird decision at the time, but looking back, that was kind of where Keegan could settle a little bit. You mentioned he hit a couple shots, saw it go in, and then that game 4 happened, and he had 23 points, I believe, in game 4, knocked down a couple triples, was really impactful, 5 of 7 from 3. It opened it up for him, and then it was, okay, he did that. They had his game. Was that just a one-off? Are they going to completely, or is Golden State going to figure that whole action out and then just phase him out of the series? No. I mean, game 5, he came out. You're right. He didn't finish game 5 well, but for him to come out after having all of those questions and immediately make an impact in that first quarter, that was big. And then in game 7, like you said, for him to really be the only other person besides De'Aaron Fox that felt like they were dangerous, like they were maybe going to be able to put some things together, it's huge for him. I mean, this was a guy who all season long was kind of looked like he lacked that aggression, that that I'm looking passive for mine. Very passive, was very much just not happy to be a part of the team, but was knew what his role was and was very comfortable in it and didn't really want to step out of it because he felt like that would disrupt what the team was doing. And they needed somebody to step up in that game 7, and game 7s, especially game 7s where the rim looks incredibly small for everybody. I mean, they were chucking up shots left and right, and just everything was off. And for Keegan to be the one that had the poise and shocker, Keegan Murray had a calm demeanor, but for him to just
finally settled down for
exactly. Yeah, he was too amped up. We actually saw Keegan too amped up at points throughout this series, but for him to be the one that was really steadied in that game 7 and show that level of poise and experience amongst everyone else on his team, like there's only positives to take from Keegan Murray's series. And I'm excited to see what this series did for him moving forward, because maybe this was what he needed to kind of get the confidence to be like, I belong in this. I'm not just a shooter. Like, I can do other things. I saw 3 Keegan Murray Euro steps in this series.
Yeah,
he didn't take a Euro step all season long. Literally all season long, he did not take a single Euro step.
The fact that he's willing to go do that in a playoff series
is huge. Setting. It's huge.
I was thoroughly impressed with him.
So big.
Yeah, man.
Big fan.
That was the big silver lining for me.
I would have never guessed either. That would have been probably like 4th or 5th on my list of things that I could maybe see happening, was Keegan having a very surprisingly good series. And I think, if we're not going to, but I put him in like the top 3 most impressive things that my 3 biggest. I mean, you just put it at 1B. It's definitely in my tops for most impressive things that I'm taking out of this series.
Another one, and we can have a kind of multi-layered conversation about this.
Right.
I thought Davion Mitchell was really good.
Yes.
Not only defending Steph as well as he did on the ball, but I thought offensively he was pretty good. He hit the dagger in game 2.
Game 2, yeah.
From the corner. Yep. I thought offensively he looked like he, for
made
the most part,
shots.
knew what he was doing. Didn't look like the moment was too big for him, which a player like Davion Mitchell, you didn't really have a concern about that. Right. I thought he was good. But then they
phased him out.
He didn't play the last 2 games. He played 15 minutes last week, 16 minutes.
Yeah. Last night, or yesterday, he played 8.
I don't get
8
it.
Total minutes yesterday. Doesn't make sense.
That was every time he was on the floor, it felt like it gummed up the Warriors' offense a little bit.
Totally.
And he did such a good job on Steph.
Incredible.
And when you have Curry rolling the way he was rolling, how is that not priority A? Stopping that bleeding.
Yes, 100%.
I said I don't want to turn this into a referendum on Mike Brown or any player. Like, that's not what this is. But for this one game,
right?
I understand the idea of Terrence Davis. Okay, gives you a little bit more offense, but a full game of Terrence Davis guarding Steph Curry,
it's not the answer. Especially like you're saying, like Davion was making huge. I think Davion was the second most impactful player through 4 games this series. He was clearly, again, you're not going to stop Steph, but at least making it tough for him. Part of the reason why Steph was so exhausted and it was such a big talking point was because Davion was making him work for literally everything. Every shot that Steph got off while Davion was guarding him, he had to earn. He had to run off of multiple screens to get open, to get Davion literally off of him because Davion was wearing him like a shirt. Okay. He could not get off of Davion Mitchell. And when Steph is going for 50 in the process of going for 50, I mean, the man had 34 points at the end of the third quarter. At some point it was like, are we going to put in the guy who has done incredibly well? The only person in 5 or 6 years who has looked like they can actually slow down Steph Curry. For him to just not get the minutes, it's really really confusing.
He played 11 minutes in game 6. I thought it was fewer than that, but he played 11 in game 6 and then like you said 8 in game 7.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just gassed.
Possibly.
He was a minus in all but the first 2 games.
Wow.
But is -10, -10, -4, -1, -4. So it wasn't like they were getting run off the floor when he was
right.
I don't know. That was something I would have, if you could rewind and go back, that's an adjustment I would have liked to have seen and just kind of see how it played. Maybe Steph was just a force of nature yesterday and he was going to get 50, whether it was, Davion Mitchell, De'Aaron Fox, Terrence Davis, or otherwise.
I think they went to Terrence Davis and they talked about spacing and they wanted to go with the shooting, more speed lineup. So if they went to Terrence Davis for the shooting, I mean, the Kings shot 25% from 3 yesterday. Yeah. To me, it's like you're not hitting your shots. You should probably abandon that game plan. And you were already really bad at defense all season long. You probably shouldn't allow yourself to start leaking defensively because you want to start shooting and you still continue to not hit shots. To me, it's not why the Kings lost, but it's just, to me, that was the most glaring adjustment that Mike Brown probably should have made. And I think he just got a little too comfortable because of what worked so well in game 6. Not really accounting for, it wasn't really an adjustment, but the fact that Steph Curry understood the moment and knew if we're going to win, this is going to be on my shoulders.
All that stuff that came out about his speech.
Oh yes. His game 6, his post game 6 speech. Yeah. That's pretty good stuff.
Embarrassed.
It's pretty good stuff.
Definitely got embarrassed. Yeah. It's Ben Stiller quote tweeted it weirdly.
Did he really?
And was like, this is like a movie. Like make the movie Ben Stiller.
Yeah. It kind of was like, who would play Steph in a movie?
Ben Stiller.
No,
we're talking silver linings. I said that Keegan Murray was my 1B. We got to talk about
my
1A.
Yeah.
Because De'Aaron Fox proved me wrong a little bit. And I'll tell you why on the other side. That's Chris Watkins. I'm Kyle Madsen. This is Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Sinking, that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track, makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Bonnie.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Monday forecast on this first day of May. We could say unseasonably cool and unsettled. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon with highs today in the mid-60s. Expect a few showers overnight tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Plumbing, electrical, heating and air, everything that makes your home your home. With Bonnie, you sure got that covered. And right now, get your air conditioner tuned up for just $79. Originally $129. Bonnie.com.
Bonnie. When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide absolutely free. Call 800-785-1155. That's 800-785-1155. 800-785-1155.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040. That's 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I want to talk to you about my friends at American Energy. We can all agree on one thing. Your time is important. That's why at American Energy Heat and Air, they make shopping for a new air conditioner easier with their new online quoting tool. Now, all you have to do, go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote today. It'll help you determine what system you'll need to get and provide those great pricing options they have, the best pricing options, all from the comforts of your home without having somebody coming to your house. Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your specific needs are, call 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings' dream season came to an end yesterday when they lost to the Warriors 120-100 in Game 7 at home. Warriors guard Steph Curry had a monster game, scoring 50 points along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. The Warriors will now host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday in the Western Conference semifinals. There are 2 NBA games today. First will be the Boston Celtics hosting the Philadelphia 76ers for Game 1 of their series. And that will be followed by the Suns at the Nuggets. The Nuggets currently have a 1-game lead after their 125-107 win over the Suns on Saturday. 12 o'clock, we are going to have Fox 40's Sean Cunningham to join the guys to break down yesterday's Game 7 and the series as a whole. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Company with Kyle Madsen.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Trying to keep the vibes up. Positive vibes
Yeah,
today.
only positive vibes.
But also, if you're not feeling that, I get it.
It's okay. It's okay.
Just trying to help.
You can fan however you want to fan.
Do that. No, you can't.
You can. You can definitely feel bad.
Yeah.
It's okay. You just lost the series that, you had a realistic shot at winning.
Right.
It's okay to feel at least disappointed too,
Yeah, you can. I think there's 2 different things here. You can be disappointed by a Game 7 loss, while simultaneously understanding and recognizing how special this season was for the Kings.
Yeah,
I think there's
absolutely
there's 2 separate things.
I think they kind of go together. I think a lot of the disappointment isn't just a loss, but it's that it's the season, which was amazing, is just over now.
Yeah.
It's done.
How long? I want to ask you guys individually. You guys are both huge Kings fans. What is there ever a point where you do kind of zoom out and appreciate the season, or is it always going to be the season that just ended at Game 7?
I kind of said on this show a lot that I was just in the moment because it's just everything was like cake because we didn't know that this was going to happen. We didn't know that they're going to be a 3 seed. We didn't know that they'd be in the playoffs. People are saying like, man, if they could just get in the play-on spot, how awesome would that be? So I think I've been very of the moment of just like, I am enjoying everything. I'm enjoying the good. I'm kind of putting the bad away because next season there are going to be expectations, and there are going to be expectations that have to be met.
Yeah, no doubt. What about you?
Verlad said it all. I mean, yeah, 100%. I'm right there with him. Like, no one expected us to be here. None of us expected us to be here. The fact that we got those 2 amazing home wins to start the series and then cherry on top of a season is the fact that we got that game 6 as well. And then we got to experience game 7. Game 7's a lot of teams don't ever get a game 7. Like, that is a really special environment, a special atmosphere to have in Sacramento as well. This was a phenomenal season. So many different memories are going to come up when you think of this season. The beam, De'Aaron's game winners, Mike Brown turning the Jets on. There's so many amazing things that came from this season. And Chris is completely right. Like, expectations are going to ruin it all. Like, moving forward, we're just going to be upset at however the season ends, because that's just kind of the nature of this thing.
The climb is definitely the best part.
I mean,
and then
until the Kings actually win the championship, that'll be a lot better than this.
Right.
But
where did this season? Where does this season land for you guys? And I guess it'll probably be a little bit different for Rob and Watkins,
right?
Because in 2002 you were
7,
very young, or in the early 2000s, I should say. Did this, Verlad? Did this hit differently than those years? I know you were still pretty young, but
it felt a lot like 99. Of
like
that, just that like it
ascension.
feels like a completely different team.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, wait, the Kings are good. Oh, they're actually going to the playoffs, and they've got like a chance to build on top of it afterwards.
Yeah.
It feels like a lot how I felt in 99 when the Kings were making that climb.
It definitely feels like a start. Yeah. And that's not guaranteed. And we can, like I said, down the road, we can get into what's next and what does it look like. But that was the big thing for me, is this was not a playoff loss where it was a, okay, well, that was nice. It was very much a, man, they were 2 good quarters away, 1.5 good quarters away from knocking off the defending champs. And then the conversation is much different.
Yes, a lot different.
It just, man.
We could be talking conference finals, maybe.
Seriously, like that's where it would have landed. So I do want to get to De'Aaron Fox, and we'll talk about that. But since we're talking about this season and expectations and the fans and stuff, not that there was any doubt that Sacramento was going to show out for a playoff series, but
talking about the fans,
yes, the fans and Golden One Center in that environment. Not that there was any doubt that was going to be the case, but seeing, and Twitter is not everything. Twitter is a very small section of society, right? But Sacramento in one season went from this like, oh yeah, they're just the Kings, to people I follow online like actively rooting for Sacramento and talking about like, I need to get out there for a game. And that's what everybody here knows. Everybody here has known that about this city and about this fan base. It was game 1, game 2, game 5, and game 7. It was the loudest building in the NBA. I love that. I like this city so much, and seeing it viewed in the way that it should be viewed, was great.
It was
and
incredible.
It was really well earned.
It was really cool because, kind of like you're pointing at, this city has been dragged for the better part of 10 to 15 years, especially in this social media. I mean, like we've talked countless times because we've had to look back to 2006. Twitter didn't exist for another year. After 2000, like the last time the Kings made the playoffs. So in that span of time, like Twitter has existed. First Take has became a bigger thing. You know, that kind of sports media property is really big now, where everyone has a take, everyone has a hot take. And during this time, Sacramento has just been dragged by national media. And every time the Kings get brought up on any program, it's always to talk about the negative and how inept the franchise is and how they're the laughing stocks. They're the Lions, the Jaguars, the Browns.
It reached a point where, like, I'm not from Sacramento. I'm from the Bay Area. I went to college here, and then I've lived here for several years. It got to a point, to what you're saying, where I was getting mad.
Yes.
Like I was getting, I'm like, that is not this. Like
right.
that. No.
Well, Sacramento is also like super tribal in the sense of, I mean, I'm sure you know, where as an outsider, it's really tough to get in, but once you're in, you're ours.
Right.
And if you talk, we can talk crap about our city, but if anybody else talks crap, then it's, it's everybody. It's everybody on you. And so for that to be the case for so long, and then now to see everybody, exactly like you're saying, everybody's, I got to get out to Sac. These fans are incredible. The atmosphere is incredible. The beam is, got to go see the beam.
Yeah.
That turnaround was so fun, but also it was also fun as part of that kind of Kings echo chamber community to be like, no, like you guys don't get to like be in that. Like it's cute that y'all want to light the beam on ESPN on NBA Today, but like don't try and act like you're with us now. Like Ralad was talking before the show today about we keep receipts. Like Sacramento fans more than anybody were ready to release the receipts if the Kings won.
Sacramento still hates Spencer Hawes.
I can't even believe you just brought him up right now. I was ready to boo. Yeah, Spencer Hawes, Jason Terry. The list goes on. Like Sacramento does not forget.
I love this.
They do not forget if you bash them at all, and it's great. I mean,
it's the best.
It's so good, and you know the best part about the only good part I should say about them losing by 20 yesterday was to see the fans, and it was so great. And I'm not surprised because I knew they were going to do it, but it was such a cool moment. Again, it almost made it cooler, the fact that they were down by 20 and so many fans stayed to cheer on the guys as they left the floor to let them know we appreciate this season. This was not a failure. We're not like during the series, we might have Sabonis, we might have been yelling at you a little bit too much, whatever, XYZ, but we're so proud, Sacramento proud of the season they had, how they fought every single night to get to the position where they were in, the fact that they showed up in that series, knowing how much this Northern California beef went back and forth. You know, obviously they didn't need that extra fuel, but it was great for them to represent us in that battle and show, yes, we're Sacramento. Yes, we're not as big of a city as you, but we still have a whole hell of a lot of fight, and we're not a laughingstock. Like, we're here to stay.
It was so loud toward the end of that game that I'm like looking at the scoreboard and I'm like, am I doing the math wrong? Am I like, what is happening?
Everybody was
again, not like I'm surprised,
right?
But it was really cool to see Sacramento get that love nationally that they earned.
Yeah,
like it was really, really cool.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Mike, we've got Doug. I see you guys hanging out on the line. 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. We're gonna get to you guys on the other side, and we still need to talk about De'Aaron Fox.
He proved
me wrong. And I'll tell you why. That's Chris Watkins. I'm Kyle Madsen. It's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy
going to throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Debo 10. Debo. Touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
At Game Time Sports Bar and Grill in Oroville, we know that you want to experience all the biggest games and fights of the season in larger-than-life detail on our 22-foot screen.
Bigger is better.
We have a fresh, tasty menu, and don't forget about our self-serve tap wall. Get in on the best action at Game Time Sports Bar and Grill. Bigger screens, tastier food and drinks, and the liveliest gaming experience around. Only at
Gold Country Casino Resort.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family, bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value is increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you could get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer, not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made in the USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Eldridge,
What you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus, a Blue Scoot Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340, and Stonies of Rock and Rodeo.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources, it's easy to get the help you and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I'm Kyle Madsen. I'm the company today. Chris is Chris Watkins.
Yeah.
We're hanging out with you until 2 o'clock.
Dose.
Just kind of soaking in Game 7.
Yeah. Soaking in the whole series, you know. It's
the best series of the first round. It wasn't close.
By far.
Like, not even close.
Not even close. Like, we got, what? At the end, the final tally is four like, really good, like, undeniable good games, right? We got Game 1, Game 2. Game 4 was great.
4 was really good. 5
was good. 5 was good.
What was the best game in the series?
I think probably Game 4. I think 4.
4?
Just because of it was 126, 120. To me, that was the game where I was like, the Kings look like the Kings of regular season.
That's a good point.
Even though they didn't get the result, I think, like, shooting wise, that looked most like the two teams that we were promised. But that's not how the series played. Like, no other game was like that.
Game 1, I think, sticks out to me. Because it was the same thing. The Warriors got an open look for Andrew Wiggins in the corner. And
I completely forgot about that shot.
Yeah, that's
how long ago that was.
Dude,
that feels. How long ago does it feel like Andrew Wiggins missed that shot?
A month and a half,
at least.
It's so long.
Feels like Draymond stopped Sabonis like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
well, 3 weeks ago. I guess it was.
I was gonna say it was.
It was 2 weeks ago.
A little more than 2 weeks ago. Yeah, no, it was just the crowd in Game 1. We were talking about the crowd last segment. The crowd in Game 1 was
that's special.
Just the entire 48 minutes. Mm-hmm. How were you loud for 48 minutes?
They found a way.
Oh, and it wasn't the 48 minutes. It was
longer.
The hours before the game while everyone's out at Delco.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after the game, how were you loud all day? Let me amend that. It was
all day.
That's why Game 1 was special to me and stands out.
Very true.
Is because it was like, this is peak playoff basketball in Game 1 of round 1.
Yeah.
This
Very
is
true.
This is a Warriors team that coasts through round one.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost in a building that was as loud as any building they've played.
Mm-hmm.
That's what jumped out to me.
It was a great game. I mean, that crowd, that experience will always live in like its own separate bubble for me, where it's like, I mean, like game one, like what's the best sporting event you went? Okay, well, like obviously game one, first playoff game in 16 seasons, like it almost lives by its it's like a separate category of things.
It's like when someone says like, who's your favorite 49er?
Yeah, I don't have one.
And it's like, no, I know you don't. But let me think of a. It's like when somebody says, "Who's your favorite 49er of all time?"
Yeah,
and it's like, okay, well, Jerry Rice and Joe Montana, they're separate. Who's your like actual one?
Yes, exactly, right. Yeah, because Whitey would ask me all the time, like, "Who's your first favorite player of all time?" And I would have to be like, "Well, like obviously Chris Webber and Mike Bibby and Peyton, like."
But the real answer is Bobby Jackson.
Exactly. Hey, actually, it truly is. Bobby. Everybody who doesn't love Bobby Jackson, by the way.
Bobby's.
Yeah.
Mike, jump in here. You want to talk about this Kings Warriors series? What's going on, man?
Oh yeah, I do. You know, I've been a long-time Kings fan since Mitch Richmond in the days.
Nice.
Basically, this series was a lot for me to handle. You know, because it was Golden State and it was the NorCal rivals. But you know. Back in the day when we had Chris Webber and the boys, we had to knock somebody on their butt. That person was John Stockton, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in those days, you know, 99, we lost. It's like progression. So I believe that we should have won the series. We didn't. We lost to the champions. But they were just more physical. We got stomped. We got a big black eye. We got pushed around. I just felt that, you know, maybe this was a major learning experience. For the Kings and like its progression. So maybe next year we go to round 2. Maybe next year we go all the way. Who knows? But the beam, I just want to tell you guys one thing. The beam to me is to remind people this is Sac County. So all you guys who are like, you know, I'm from Elk Grove, I'm a Warrior fan, get out of here with that. You're like who you want. Like Curry's super popular. Like, you know, back in the day when they had Michael Jordan, people weren't even from Chicago. They just loved the Bulls. So I understand how popular Curry is, but people need to remember this is Sac County. We're coming for you guys next year. Be ready.
I love it. Thanks, Mike.
Be ready.
I love that vibe.
Yeah,
I rock with Mike's vibe today.
Absolutely, he's
like
right.
Bummer, learning experience.
I want to know that guy that Mike knows from Elk Grove that says he's not from Sacramento.
Elk Grove Warrior
They're
fan.
like, oh, you live up in Sac? Sir, no. I live in Elk Grove.
Uppity.
I am a Warriors fan through and through. I bleed blue and gold because I grew up in Elk Grove.
Yeah, Elk Grove. Doing a little roam there.
Elk Grove.
Elk Grove.
Jungle legend. Elk Grove legend.
Greater Sacramento community.
When I lived in Elk Grove, I said I lived in Sacramento. Do you know why? Because that's way easier than being like, I live in Elk Grove. It's actually a little bit south.
Yeah.
It's just, no. It's
no,
just,
Elk Grove is
you're
definitely
in Sacramento.
Sacramento. Elk
Roseville,
Grove is
Sacramento.
Sacramento.
Yeah. As someone from Sacramento, I don't want Roseville people thinking they're from Sacramento.
That's fair. That's
Roseville people.
How about Natomas?
Nuggets fans. That's Sacramento.
It's like pretty much connecting. Yeah.
Or in
Natomas, right.
Yeah. I lived in he's on the phone. Yeah. I lived in Natomas for a minute. I rock with Natomas. What?
I don't enjoy Natomas. Natomas.
It was a nice place to live.
It is. No, it is a very nice place to live. Nice affordable rents as well. Not hard to find a good place to live in Natomas.
916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 if you want to jump in on this conversation. Talking about this series as a whole and trying to find some silver linings. Doug has been hanging in there. Thanks, Doug. What's going on, man?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Great.
Well, I've been like the last caller, but I've been a Kings fan for a long time. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, and I've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been such a big break in between having a winning season. Back in October, I'm going. I'll tell you what: Dallas, Minnesota, and New Orleans, Lakers, and Portland for the 10th spot. Well, it didn't turn out that way, and all of a sudden we're doing pretty good, and nobody's talking about us and stuff, and that was fine. And then we make it in the playoffs. We give the champs every tussle that they could get into. It's like we were still there standing, and we came in and didn't play a good second half. And there's so many good things to look forward to the next year. Yep. Monty's going to be on the hot seat to see what pieces he can put in to go in and get us to that next level and stuff. And this is what I tell people about. They said, well, who's your team? And I said, I'm a Kings fan. He said, you're kidding. And this is before, until this year. I said, let me tell you something. This is all I know. There's two kinds of fans, Kings fans and those that want to be Kings fans. That's all I know. You guys have a great day. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug. I think he said Monty McNair's on the. I think he meant hot seat in a different context.
Yes, in a different
than
context.
Like he's going to.
You and I both perked up. I was like, oh, there's a hot take there.
Because his call was so positive and like, goodbye. Like, hey, this is a really
GM's got to go, though. Really happy they put this team together. Homeboy's got to go, though. I mean, I understand what you're saying there, Doug.
I'm going to say this because I need to pay off the tease that I've said 2 more times.
For real.
There's so much to get into.
I know.
And Ron, I see you on the line. Hang out there. We'll get right to you.
We have to.
De'Aaron Fox going into this year, I did not think could be a one on a title team.
Yeah.
I thought he was good. I thought the Kings were right to pay him when they paid him. I thought he could be a starter on a title, but I didn't think he'd be a one. I've changed my mind. De'Aaron Fox is absolutely a player who can be the best player on a title team.
A title winning team.
A team that wins a championship. If the Kings win a title in next year, 2 years, whatever it is, and De'Aaron Fox is their best player, I believe that can be a thing now. I did not believe that before.
I don't know if I'm fully there yet. I think
I want to hear why
for sure.
On the other side.
For sure.
We're going to talk about De'Aaron Fox and why Chris hates De'Aaron Fox.
You heard it here first.
Ron, we'll get to you as well. 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140 if you want to jump in on the conversation. That's Chris Watkins. I'm Kyle Madsen. Talking De'Aaron Fox next on Sactown Sports 1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
They will be facing off with the Los Angeles Lakers game number 1 on Tuesday night.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back,
Now Jason's sad.
You made Jason sad with your music.
You made Jason sad.
You played the music.
You told me to play it. I am the producer. I produce.
I disagree.
Okay. Wow.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain what you need to perform. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
Progressive Insurance protects people's cars, homes, and other vehicles. But if you've ever seen our commercials or even just heard our name, you probably already knew that. What you may not know is that we support Humble Design, a nonprofit that furnishes homes for families and veterans emerging from homelessness. Because a little help goes a long way. And a lot of help, well, you get the idea. Now, if you already knew all of this about Progressive Insurance, we're impressed. We'll have to find something else cool to tell you next time. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Brayden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Today is the day. Today is the day you empty your garage and closets of your old tech. Today is the day you hang up on that dial-up modem. Today is the day you tell that old GPS to get lost. Because while Staples recycles old tech for free each and every day, today, during Staples' free Tech Take Back, rewards members get $10 in Staples rewards when they recycle their tech. Cut the cord on your old tech and recycle it at Staples. N617. Limit 1 reward per month. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/recycling for details.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
The newest, most exciting race cars are coming to WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, May 12th through 14th for the Motul Course de Monterey, powered by Hyundai. North America's premier sports car series brings intense wheel-to-wheel racing. And there's plenty of family fun, too, including go-karts, a Ferris wheel, and a kids zone. Get your tickets now by calling 831-242-8200. That's 831-242-8200. Or visit WeatherTechRaceway.com. Enjoy Mother's Day weekend, May 12th through 14th in beautiful Monterey.
Progressive Insurance protects people's cars, homes, and other vehicles. But if you've ever seen our commercials or even just heard our name, you probably already knew that. What you may not know is that we support Humble Design, a nonprofit that furnishes homes for families and veterans emerging from homelessness. Because a little help goes a long way. And a lot of help, well, you get the idea. Now, if you already knew all of this about Progressive Insurance, we're impressed. We'll have to find something else cool to tell you next time. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Brayden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your socks slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Truck season savings extended at Maida Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Got a huge selection of new 2022 and 23 half-ton Silverados in stock, ready to go. Find your savings at MaidaChevy.com. Find new roads.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlott with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings' dream season came to an end yesterday when they lost to the Warriors 120-100 in Game 7 at home. Warriors guard Steph Curry had a monster game, scoring 50 points along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. The Warriors will now host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday in the Western Conference semifinals. There are 2 NBA games today. First will be the Boston Celtics hosting the Philadelphia 76ers for Game 1 of their series. And that will be followed by the Suns at the Nuggets. Nuggets currently have a 1-game lead after their 125-107 win over the Suns on Saturday. At 12 o'clock, Fox 40's Sean Cunningham will join the guys to break down yesterday's game and everything of the Kings season. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Kyle Madsen.
I was shocked at the end of last segment when I said I thought De'Aaron Fox, I'm Kyle Matz, that's Chris Watkins.
What up?
When I said that I thought De'Aaron Fox could be the number one on a title team. He could be the best player on a team that wins the championship. And I thought for sure you were going to be like, yep.
Yep. Yeah, you did.
And you said you still have questions. I need to know why.
I have questions. Yeah, it's not even that I don't think De'Aaron can be the one. It's just I feel like he needs another significant contributor.
I agree.
And I don't know if that necessarily means I don't believe, air quotes here, don't believe he could be a one on a title team, but I definitely think if De'Aaron is your everything, I'm not sure he's like what we just saw from Steph Curry, which is obviously a whole different level of guy. But, you know, I think he needs somebody else who's at his caliber. Mm-hmm. And he can still be that one that, you know, the lead go-to guy, but I just think he's not at the level yet where he can solely elevate his team to incredible heights, which is not a diss on De'Aaron at all. there's only like 3 or 4 guys in the league, in my opinion, who can do that.
Who are they?
It's Giannis. Whoops.
Yeah.
Steph's
on the list.
Steph's on the list.
You have Giannis.
I have Giannis, though. That clearly hasn't played out well.
Giannis won a title, though.
Yeah. I think Jokic is at that point. I think we're probably about to see Jokic this season get to that Western Conference Finals, maybe make his first Finals appearance.
Okay.
And then,
KD?
I don't know if he's still there. I don't know if he's still there. I think that maybe KD's still at that point. Maybe we're seeing the tail end of it. Maybe we're seeing the start of, but I kind of put Booker in that high end of where I just kind of put De'Aaron. That's where I put Booker, but like I said, kind of like at the higher end of it where it feels like he needs somebody else who can really help him in order to get there. Not saying he can't be the best when he's there, but
the reason I say that about Fox is because he did what he did in this series in his first
true. Very
shot
true.
at the playoffs.
Sure. He went toe to toe with a guy who's at that level.
Right. And I think if he's healthy, I think you see him more going shot for shot with Steph down the stretch, and that's at least a closer game. Yeah,
sure, absolutely. I mean, if he's not injured, these last 2-3 games, I think go way differently.
His ability to hit every big three that he took, to get in the lane, he's that floater, little 8 to 10 foot floater is a 95% shot. Got a little mid range game. He needs to be more consistent with that 3-point shooting for sure.
Incredible finisher, though.
Yeah, but he's so good around the rim. That finish he had, was it in game 5 where he like stepped around Wiggins and then went back left around Looney? Like that's
and is literally falling on the ground as he just flicks it up.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So his level of shot making, I didn't think De'Aaron was going to be like intimidated by the moment or anything. But like the level of shot making and just going toe to toe with Steph the way he did in his first trip to the playoffs,
right?
In a spot where it's Domas and then Kevin Huerter, who's been historically in his career now not a good playoff shooter.
Yeah, it's official.
He's like under 30% from the playoffs for his career.
Right,
it's in 30 games. Like that's a
big sample size.
So with that, you have a rookie in Keegan Murray. You have Malik Monk coming off the bench, and he's going to be hot and cold, up and down, depending.
And he was.
And the Kings were in this series in large part. If De'Aaron Fox is 25% worse, the series is probably over in like 5 games.
Right.
But De'Aaron carried them to that point, and then he got hurt. And like I said, I just didn't think he was quite the same. He's like 90% of himself, but he saw him losing his dribble, and he just wasn't as aggressive getting into the paint.
Right.
I don't know if there's a player I'm higher on right now than De'Aaron Fox in terms of just their
star rising. Yeah, for sure. I mean, his star has definitely taken the biggest leap of anyone so far this postseason. And there's still room for, Devin Booker's probably the only other person that can rise to a level that would overpass, De'Aaron as the most impressive riser of this postseason. But you're right. Like no one has done more for their image than De'Aaron this postseason. And I think a lot of people do realize that, he can be the one on a deep playoff team. That is undeniable. Like you said, and the fact that he just went again, like 7 games leading his team against Steph Curry, who, I mean, he just put together maybe one of the best performances of his career. This season in total has probably been one of Steph's 1, 2, maybe 3 best individual seasons of his career. For De'Aaron to be able to match that for when healthy for 2.5 games, that was huge. It was huge, and no one saw it coming.
The Warriors won a title last year with it largely the same group. The Celtics got them to 6 games.
In the finals.
In the NBA finals. The Grizzlies last year got them to 6 games. The Kings pushed them to 7. And we're up at half.
True.
And that's dude, that's why, and I think that's in large part because of De'Aaron in a spot where Sabonis was not himself.
No, he wasn't.
Regardless of why. I don't want to dive into the why necessarily. Is the defense, maybe it was the moment, maybe it was he was hurt. That I think it's probably a combination of all those factors, but it was Fox again and again and again, dragging the Kings kind of to this point.
Absolutely.
So And with contributions, Keegan Murray was really good. We talked about that.
For sure. But they don't stand a chance if De'Aaron doesn't go off. And that was the case in all those games. Is De'Aaron had to get his 24 plus for the Kings to even remotely have a chance to win any of those games.
Yeah.
And
So
he stepped up.
That's where I land on that.
Mhm.
He was way better than I thought.
Absolutely.
All year.
Yeah.
He was better because remember when they made the Sabonis trade?
I was just about to bring that up.
It was like,
I was
man,
just going to bring
did
that
they
up.
trade the wrong guard?
The wrong guy. Yeah.
And
it was a real question.
Yeah, and
people were upset.
And Indiana didn't want to take on his contract. Right.
They didn't. They had it was a Steph Monte situation where it was,
yes,
you can have either one you want. Which one do you want?
Yeah.
They picked Tyrese.
So that's kind of where I was at. Again, good player, but what's his just blew through whatever ceiling I'd set.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I like I said, I was not out on him.
Yeah.
But blown away.
Yeah.
Completely blown away by how good he was in his first playoff series. Hey, Lewis, what did you think of De'Aaron in his first playoff series?
Yeah, I thought he did really well. Obviously, I think I wish he wouldn't have gotten hurt, but also I wish we got a little bit more contribution from our three-point shooting. Kind of let us down. I think my biggest frustration watching the series was Kevin Huerter. Just kind of seemed like the pressure got to him, and I'm hoping it's not a trend. I kind of noticed that too in the three-point contest that he didn't shoot well. And I don't know if it's a pressure thing or what, or a mental thing. But I feel like, I think De'Aaron could do what Steph does, to be honest. I think he's actually up there with the Jaws, the Giannis, but also in that same breath, I guess. They all have number twos or number threes that contributed, I feel like Sabonis didn't have his best series. Most of our three-point shooters didn't have a really great series. I think we kind of lost that in games 3 and 4 for me, which is, I think, it speaks to kind of the dynastic DNA of the Warriors of being able to pull those out. Just because I think if we would have had that DNA, obviously we have to earn that experience. But I think that's where we should, kind of put our foot on their throats and into this series. But I think De'Aaron can carry a team, and on any given night, healthy, I think he could put up those numbers. Obviously, he's the clutch player of the year. So, that's what I think.
All right, awesome. Yeah. Thanks, Lewis.
Just some final numbers on the Kings shooting. Lewis brought up Kevin Huerter shooting there. Kevin ended the series 8 of 39 from 3, 20% from the perimeter. Kings as a team shot 30.6% from 3, second worst amongst all playoff teams, only behind the Knicks, who shot 26%. So to Lewis's point there, and he's completely right. De'Aaron did his part. You could even argue Sabonis did from a large part his part of getting guys involved as well. Dudes just didn't hit shots for 7 games.
That's the thing with Sabonis is I thought the way De'Aaron kind of elevated his play that little bit in the playoffs, just don't watch it. Didn't.
No, he didn't.
That's where my gripe with him comes in. But again, that's just kind of nitpicking.
Yeah.
Marcus wants to talk about Fox and his teammates. Marcus, you're on Chris and Company. What's going on, man?
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen. How you guys doing?
Good. Hanging in there, bro.
All right. So first and foremost, I definitely want to take my hat off to De'Aaron. He stepped up in ways I did think the young man had in him. Some of those performances, injured fingered or not, the gentleman definitely showed a lot of heart, a lot of grit, and a lot of toughness in regards to this series. So I definitely want to take my hat off to him. Something else that I did notice that I feel like, you guys can correct me if you think I'm wrong, needed to have changed. I would have liked to have seen Monk in the starting lineup. I understand, he started throughout the season. However, this is a performance-based industry. If you're not performing, that's when you as a coach have to make adjustments and changes. And Monk, if you look at his stats, he was probably the number 2 scorer behind Fox this entire series. So why is this guy not in the starting lineup?
Interesting. Thanks, Marcus. Yeah, I brought that up and you were kind of anti-Monk in the starting lineup. Why?
Yeah. It was more just the fact that Malik is going to get his. He was the secondary ball handler. When De'Aaron went to the bench, they needed somebody to step in. And if Malik is obviously starting alongside him, that kind of, minutes wise, he might then get the ball in his hand when he's a little tired instead of coming in fresh and getting the ball in his hand. Also, it was just big for if Kevin could have at one point gotten it going, it would have been a lot easier for him, in my opinion, to get going with that starting lineup with Domas as opposed to coming off the bench and, kind of having to create his own offense and do things a little bit differently. Plus, to be honest, starting is it's one of those things that fans care about, and it's not really like that. Like we saw Draymond come off the bench for 2 games, still played 30 minutes, still closed out the games. It's really about who closes the games, and that's kind of a cliche, but it's true. It's about who's on the floor at the end of the games, and at the end of every game, Malik Monk was the one who was on the floor. So that was really what was important to me. And again, I just think it was more important for the team to try and get Kevin going as opposed to Malik, who he's going to get going regardless.
I kind of wonder if Mike Brown, if he had the series to do over again, starting in like game 5, if there is an adjustment, because we saw him in game 6 go small, and then the Warriors countered that in game 7. I would have been interested to see if they had tried something like that earlier in the series. But it felt like it took a while. I mean, and they won the first 2 and then, lost game 3 because they a little bit flat. But the fact that there wasn't any kind of adjustment from Mike Brown until game 6. That's something I wonder if he could go back and change it if he would.
Yeah. I wonder how he would, because.
But I guess at the end of the day too, like you have your roster.
Right.
And you got like Kevin Huerter is a 40% 3-point shooter this year.
That's what I'm saying.
Like that's a guy that Keegan Murray was written. It was better at the end of the series, but towards the beginning of the series, not shooting it great. Davion's not a guy you're going to rely on to make shots. Okay, so you put Terrence Davis in, that didn't work out great. Like Chimezie Metu minutes are not going to alter the series. That's most people would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, also that 5-man group was the most, like Mike Brown leaned on that 5-man group, the 5 starters all season long. Again, like they played 900 total minutes together all season long. Yeah. It's the most of any 5-man lineup by like 200 minutes. Like they use that lineup has so much familiarity with each other. It never felt like the playoffs were the right time to kind of go away from that. You got to kind of at some point stick with what got you there and hope that eventually, again, like it's a law of averages. You would have hoped that Kevin at some point would have started to hit threes, but that just never happened. And, I think Mike Brown's okay with the ship sinking because he was too loyal to the guys that got him there.
TC, I see you hanging on the line. We'll get to you on the other side. Also on the other side, you know who else is a big De'Aaron Fox fan? Draymond Green.
Ooh.
He talked about it on his podcast. We'll hear from Draymond on De'Aaron Fox on the other side. That's Chris Watkins. I'm Kyle Madsen. It's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The 5-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
on your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Carmichael Dave here, welcoming back my dear friends at Fire Wings. 21 different flavors. I had 4 of those 21 Saturday for the game, watching with the family. As always, breaded Malaysian curry. Yeah, you better bet I got that curry. Knocked it out of the park, too. Go to firewings.com to make your order. That's what we did. We ordered 2 hours in advance, picked it up. There's nothing better for the game than Fire Wings. Check out the locations nearest you. Fire Wings, just wing it.
local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Kyle Madsen, Chris Watkins hanging out with you till 2 o'clock. Getting a lot of burn out of what is Sacramento.
The comments have taken it and ran.
It's so funny how that happens.
Dude, I'm telling you, people are very, very tribal about what is, what Sacramento is about.
Look, as a person from the Bay Area,
a Bay person,
I've lived in Sacramento. I went to Sac State. I spent 5 wonderful years at Sac State.
You made it, Sac State.
Yeah, shout out to Marte Mapu. It's a great day to be a Hornet.
Yeah.
He was drafted. Sac State football player, drafted, I think, 76th overall by the Patriots.
Huge.
Really, really cool moment over the weekend. If you missed that because you were dialed into football, you're welcome. That's your Sac State sports update for the day. I lived here for a while. I've interned and worked at this station.
Yep.
To me, Sacramento is like Elk Grove, all the way down into Sacramento. Natomas counts. Everything like Citrus Heights,
Folsom,
all that area, that all counts.
Ooh.
For me, Roseville counts. And Chris Verlade, I know that you're out on Roseville counting, but to me, Roseville counts. When you get past Roseville, like that's borderline for me. But when you get past Roseville, you're out.
I think it's more of I just don't like Roseville. I think Roseville and Elk Grove are very, very similar.
Yeah, that's the vibe.
Sure, too.
So I'll allow it.
I would count them. Folsom's tough because it's kind of distinctly like out there. Like it's almost. I mean, but also if you're gonna tell somebody from
Eldorado Hills,
Sacramento, very Like, but if you're in Texas or something, and you're gonna tell somebody, oh yeah, I live in California. I live in Folsom, or would you just? I mean, no one's gonna. Maybe from Johnny Cash or whatever.
I lived in Arizona.
Actually, you know what? I was talking to a friend, and she said that when she would go out of the country, she's like, "Oh, I'm from Folsom," and they're like, "Oh, Johnny Cash."
Right. Yes. No, I swear. Yeah.
So I lived in Arizona for a couple years, and I'm from Brentwood, is the town I'm from.
In the Bay, not Los Angeles, Brentwood.
Right. Yeah. In the Northern California Brentwood. And there's even debates about whether the 925 area code's the Bay. Whatever it is for the sake of this conversation. I would just tell people San Francisco.
It's a lot easier.
Because if I'm like Brentwood, Bay Area, San Francisco, like that's how it would just always kind of get there.
Yeah.
So I would just tell people San Francisco. But if you're from Elk Grove, you're going to say Elk Grove. You're not going to say you're from Sacramento.
If you're in Sacramento, you can say Elk Grove. But like, again, like if you tell someone even if you go to San Francisco and you're like, I live in Elk Grove, people are going to be like, is that, what is that?
You're going to go Sacramento.
Yeah, Sacramento.
But if you're like Galt, you're not going to say Sacramento.
Probably not. No, you're going to say Stockton or probably Stockton. Probably not Galt.
Yeah. All right.
Shout out Galt.
Shout out to the chat for
shout out for sparking that. And by the way, just for the record, to set the record straight, not that anybody needs the record straight on this, but Sacramento not the Bay Area.
No,
it's just not. And no one from Sacramento has ever claimed it to be. But there's this weird online, feels like exclusive thing where people from San Francisco Bay Area seem to think that people from Sacramento say they're from the Bay Area in these kind of distance. If you're in Australia, you don't say like, yeah, I'm from Sacramento. Oh, where's that? Oh, the Bay Area. Like nobody says that. No one would say that.
No.
And there seems to be this weird narrative that people from Sacramento. Dave
Carmichael Dave. No. He does. He's trolling. Yeah. You know who else is in Sacramento? TC. What's going on, man? And gone. He's all gone.
That's a good take. I like that take.
Call back, TC.
Yeah.
916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Draymond Green. We were talking about De'Aaron Fox in the last segment, and we're just a couple of guys watching basketball. Draymond Green is he doesn't hand out praise easily.
No.
In fact, it's very typically the opposite. And whether you like or dislike Draymond Green, I imagine if you listen to the station, you probably dislike to despise to hate Draymond Green, somewhere on that scale.
That spectrum,
yeah, and that's fine. I'm not here to dispel you of that notion. But he's a very smart basketball player. So one of the reasons he's been successful, despite being undersized and not super athletic and can't shoot, can't score.
Dude knows ball.
He's a very smart player. That's why he's
Right.
going to work on TNT and probably be on TV for a long time. Here's what he had to say in his post-game presser about De'Aaron Fox, and he does not say this often.
I've been in a lot of playoff series against a lot of different guys. And if I'm honest, you leave most with less respect for a lot of guys. You know, whether it's, you know, how they act in the moment, how they step up to the pressure. I've lost a lot of respect for guys over the years in the playoffs. And then there are some that you gain respect for. There are some that you see and you know they're cut from that same cloth you feel like you're cut from. And Fox is one of those guys. And so I just paid my respect, man. You know, hard-fought battle. Obviously, he's on the wrong end of it. We've been there before. Like, I've been to a Game 7 and lost in the first round. That was my second year in the league. We did that against the Clippers. And it's a part of it. You know, you have to go through that to ultimately reach where you want to go. And so I was really just showing my love and respect for him as a competitor. I was honored to compete against him today, or this series.
Man, love to hear that. I would love to hear just Draymond go down the list of people he has lost respect for in the playoffs. Like, it's obviously going to be a laundry list of people, including, I think someone just got added to that list this series. We might get to that later. But, like, you know, he's probably got some good Tristan Thompson takes.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely – he called out Tristan Thompson at the parade after they beat the Cavs in 17.
I think that's what subconsciously made
we're
me
not cut
from the same cloth. No, I did hear that. Yes.
For Draymond to say you're cut from the same cloth as him is the highest compliment.
That is the highest compliment.
Very rare cloth
right.
for Draymond. But yeah, that's
huge.
That is a guy who's done and seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
The Warriors have faced John Morant.
Who
James
haven't
Harden,
they
Chris
faced?
Paul, Kevin
Kyrie
Irving, LeBron James. So for him to come away with that and say, like, it's an honor to compete with him,
huge.
That's a big deal. And I promise, and the reason that's a big deal is not because earning Draymond Green's respect is the end all be all
of good basketball players.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not trying to say that. But like, if Draymond feels that way, I promise that is a thought around the league.
Yes, absolutely.
And De'Aaron has elevated himself to that.
Yes, 100%. And he's earned it. Like, through that 7 games, he earned every ounce of respect that he's going to get. And I definitely think I'm excited for next year already, just to see what the confidence does, what the respect level does for De'Aaron. Maybe he gets more calls next year. We could see a completely different De'Aaron Fox next year after this series.
Speaking of calls, we've got Stanley. Stanley, we'll get to you on the other side. You want to talk about somebody that Draymond lost respect for?
Yeah,
He talked about it on his pod. And we're going to get into that. That's Chris Watkins. I'm Kyle Madsen. It's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Cattles and Rami.
I'm going with one of the ones that gets on my nerves is this guy plays through the whistle. Plays through the whistle. No, he doesn't. Simone.
He's got great football IQ,
That's
ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, all right. I'm next. He's a hard hat guy. Yeah.
Yep.
He puts his hard hat on and he goes to work, Rami.
Lunch pail
What's
guy.
that?
Yeah, I had hard hat and lunch pail.
Yeah.
First on my draft board.
Cattles and Rami, weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Everyone knows Elk Grove Kia is home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty on every new Kia. But did you also know that Elk Grove Kia is your one-stop place for used cars? I'm talking over 300 used cars available. With Kia's certified program, with its 165-point quality assurance inspection, we know peace of mind on used cars is important. And that's why we also offer extended service agreements on all our used makes and models. Most prices are under Kelley Blue Book retail. New car protection at used car prices. From used sports cars to used delivery vans, we got them all at Elk Grove Kia. And our financing folks have over 100 years of combined experience. So we approve just about everyone. No credit, little credit, bad credit, no problem. And Elk Grove Kia is proud of our don't like it, bring it back guarantee for up to 3 days or 150 miles, no questions asked. Why would you buy your used car anywhere else? So check us out online at elkgrovekia.com today.
Turn your highway into a smile way. Elk Grove Kia.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right, but right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe. Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Seth Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is, live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Seth Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Seth's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sactown Sports 1140.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino, just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
Great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in radio land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotte with your Sactown Sports headlines. The Sacramento Kings' dream season came to an end yesterday when they lost the Warriors 120-100 in Game 7 at home. Warriors guard Steph Curry had a monster game, scoring 50 points along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. The Warriors will now host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday in the Western Conference semifinals. There are 2 NBA games today. First will be the Boston Celtics hosting the Philadelphia 76ers for Game 1 of their series, and that will be followed by the Suns at the Nuggets. The Nuggets currently have a 1-game lead after their 125-107 win over the Suns on Saturday. At 12 o'clock, we will have Fox 40's Sean Cunningham joining the guys to break down yesterday's Game 7 and the entire Kings season and ask what is next for the Sacramento Kings. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Co. with Kyle Madsen.
Sitting at your desk? Watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Trying to keep the vibes right today.
Yeah. There's no need to, be too doom and gloom and feel like the run is what a season, but this ain't going to last.
Yeah, it's like a bummer, but also it's not like.
I said it last night, man. It's a very much a cliche and it's really corny, but don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened.
Did you tweet that?
No, no, I didn't.
At Sactown Sports 1140 tweeted as
Really?
a promotion for this show, don't be sad that it's over, be happy it happened.
Oh.
And I know that's so cliche, but I feel like that's
100%.
I feel that.
I mean, there's a reason why people say it all the time. It's because it's true. Like there's, I'm not saying don't feel bad. You can cry, be emotional about the season being over and the fact we don't get to watch the Kings anymore. And, we don't get to keep this run going and we won't see the beam for like 3 to 4 months now. And, all the family gathering, I'm sure everybody watched games together and everything. Like, absolutely be sad that all that's over, but at the same time, and however long it takes, I'm not saying it has to be today, but at some point this week, maybe sometime later this month, just really look back, watch Kings highlights from this season, enjoy, like, De'Aaron, all the special moments we have. I know Sabonis had a tough series, but like, remember how awesome all of his set a franchise record for most triple doubles in a season. There was so much good to take from the season. Malik Monk, rewatch the Laker or the Clipper game, the double overtime thriller. There's so many good things to take from this season. It sucks it's over, but it's hopefully just the beginning.
The vibes of the team is
the
like the best part of the season. Every time they had the DPOG change.
Yes, the pictures.
And the pictures, and they would have the videos of them going wild.
So fire.
It was the best.
Yeah.
I started here in 2011. And outside of the push to keep the team, which was when I just fell in love with Sacramento. It was unbelievable watching the community rally around the Kings and Dave specifically, and the work he put in was remarkable. But anyways, this is the first time ever that a season has ended for the Kings, and it's been like, can't wait for next year.
Yeah.
Not can't wait for next year because of the draft pick that's coming up. Or like, hey, maybe they get like, this is the first time it's really been like, dude, this thing's moving the right direction.
This is the first time I don't know when the draft lottery is.
Facts. I can't tell you a single fact about the draft.
You can stop caring now. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
You just get to.
We're gonna get Keegan's brother. It'll be great. That's all I know about the draft.
There's like a 64% chance that's happening.
I think it's higher than that. I think that we've actually already worked out a deal with him. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter because we get a year of like just them being. They can have their own show. Like, I would love to watch the Murrays just hang out and just their dynamics at practice. Wouldn't it be funny if like they still treat Keegan like the rookie next? Like his brother comes in and he's like the cool kid.
Guy.
And then it's just like all bashing. I don't know.
That would be funny.
Truly.
We got coming up at 11:50. We're doing something a little bit different today, FYI. We're doing story time. We're doing lunchtime stories.
Yeah.
With Christopher Laud. We don't know what the headlines are. So Chris reads just finds a news story and describes the news story for us. And then we react. If you know Christopher Laud, then you understand. If you don't, just know that we have no idea what the stories are.
Yep.
They could be completely out of left field. They could involve
oftentimes multiple deaths happen in Chris's story time.
It's been quite some time since we had a death.
It has.
There was one I was telling you guys in the break that I just don't think I could do.
No.
We'll talk about it. We'll workshop it. We'll figure it out. But yeah, you're going to want to stick around. That's coming up at 11:50. But right now we've got full phone lines, 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. The vibes are good, man.
They are. They better be.
Love it. Stanley wants to talk about the season. You're on Sactown Sports 1140. What's up, Stanley?
Hey, enjoy watching your show, of course, or listening to your show, I should say. But there was something that I was kind of afraid of, was two things before we got into the playoffs here, was I didn't want us to meet the Warriors or the Timberwolves. It seems like they were the only two teams during the season that had our number. Otherwise, we played them 4 times. We only won one game out of those 4 playing those two teams, either one of them.
Thanks, Stanley. Yeah, I think it was only a tough matchup from that experience standpoint.
Yeah, Golden State was definitely the worst matchup for the Kings to go against in terms of them actually trying to make it through. But, strangely, again, looking back at the series, it might have been a blessing for the Kings to go against Golden State just because that's the ultimate proving ground. Like, that's the ultimate kind of place where you figure out exactly what the playoffs, what it takes to succeed.
Actually, you mentioned that De'Aaron Fox talked about that after the game in this series and just kind of what they learned from it.
This is definitely just something that you build on. I mean, we had a good season. We were the 3rd seed. We stayed relatively healthy. I think playing against this team in the first round was a blessing and a curse. You could learn a lot. You're not the favorite to win. We fought every game, but they did what champions do.
That was it. Like, that's like,
yeah.
And if it's going to come down to that, there's not a lot.
There's nothing you can do. Yeah. I mean, there's really, they have the experience, and now the Kings have gained some themselves.
Yeah.
All you can do is take that moving forward and hopefully build off of it.
At least that's the most, that's so much more positive to build on than like moving up in the lottery.
Right. Or even, disappointing loss to Minnesota, but fun season. Like, no, this was a good series, not a disappointing series, maybe a disappointing ending, but the process to get there was all
you
positive.
Love the process.
I love
You're
the process.
Process over
trust the
results,
process, always. Always trust the process.
TC's back, wants to talk about Davion Mitchell. TC, what's up, bro?
Hey, man, what's up with my two bros, Chris and Kyle? So a little bit about Davion. The experience, what everybody said. I think it's the experience from the team and the coaches. And why I say that is because, for one, the experience to go through that Game 7 as a team, but also experience for the coaching staff as far as Mike Brown and everybody else is, hey, bro, don't do so much talking about your scheme all series. I know you want to praise the Warriors. I know we want to do all that, but don't come out every game and every press conference saying, these are the champs. We want to space the floor. We want to run up and down the floor. They're old. We want to spray up a lot of shots. Fox's hand is hurt. He's playing tomorrow. Like, these are things that you keep close to the vest. I know you guys know each other, bro. But to me, personally, I think that was the outcome of the game by Brown. I love Brown, and I love everything he does. I love this coach, and I want him here for the next decade, for forever coaching. I want him to be the Kings coach. But that one part right there, Kyle and Chris, to me, was the outcome of the game. Mike Brown talked so much about our scheme.
Interesting. Thanks, TC. So I want to push back on that because the Warriors are watching film.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. It's more nothing that you say in the press conferences is revealing. And anything that is even semi-revealing, the coaches are smart enough to know not to divulge in. Like, everybody knows what everyone is doing. Like, literally nothing is a surprise to these coaches, at least when they watch the games in real time. Everything, especially come Game 6, come Game 7, you know what the adjustments are going to be. Especially Mike Brown and Steve Kerr, they know each other so well. They know what's coming. It's just, you have to say something. And I don't know. I don't necessarily, you can't just blow off guys and say I'm
the
not
Kings were going to try to run was not a secret.
Not a secret. Right. Absolutely. The Kings are going to try and push the pace. They're going to try and make the older guys feel tired.
Steve Kerr even said after they heard about Fox's finger that they immediately began preparing for him to play.
Yes. They didn't believe it for a second.
I think there's things you can question with some of the coaching decisions for sure and kind of be skeptical of.
Yeah.
But
not the public nature of it, though.
Yeah.
Not the public speaking.
No. We still got to get to what Draymond Green said and the player that he lost respect for during the series. The answer might surprise you.
Or it might not.
It won't. I'm telling you it won't. We'll hear from him on the other side. Chris Watkins, Kyle Madsen, this is Chris Company. Also, story time.
Story time.
With Chris Verlade coming up next.
Lunchtime.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Hey, you want to be around people having a great time? You need to come check out Capital Casino, offering the most varieties of table games in the region in the friendliest environment. Come for the food, which is awesome, of course, and stay and play. Conveniently located in downtown Sacramento at 411 North 16th Street, right there in downtown Sacramento for over 20 years. Cap Casino, best food, best games, and of course, the best action. And please, gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Guys, fellas, men, do you want a better sex life? Roman has genuine medication that helps you achieve and maintain what you need to perform. Roman has discreet wipes that help you last 4 times longer in bed. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. Treating low testosterone can help revive your sex drive. So, men, what are you waiting for? For a better sex life, go to ro.co/bettersex. Do it today and get 20% off. That's ro.co/bettersex.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Golfers, the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is redefining the word sale. With $500,000 in Cleveland, Strixon, and Zexio closeout inventory, you're sure to find your next nearly new showroom clubs at discounts up to 75%. From full sets of irons to metal woods to wedges, visit the Hagen Oaks Garage Sale and find discounts up to 75% on selected clubs right now at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at HagenOaks.com.
Guys, your testosterone level impacts your energy, drive, weight, hair loss, and even ED. Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your T level for free. For your free T level check, exam, and consultation, call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
I have some news for you, Chris.
Really?
You're going to be shocked. Draymond Green had something to say after Game 7.
Oh, wait, publicly?
Yeah.
Like not, oh, wow.
For the first time.
What? Draymond?
Draymond Green spoke.
Wow.
You know he has a podcast?
Really?
Yeah.
Like is it on iTunes?
Yeah, it's like yeah. No, Draymond, we heard earlier from Draymond in his post-game presser where he's talking about De'Aaron Fox and the respect he gained for De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
And how through all these playoff series that the Warriors have played in, I think it's 25 playoff series now.
Whew.
Yeah, 6 finals. So 25 playoff series under Steve Kerr.
Mm-hmm.
That he has lost a lot of respect for a lot of players.
Mm-hmm.
But he gained a lot of respect for De'Aaron Fox.
Yep.
You texted me.
I did.
You texted me with the clip of the De'Aaron Fox sound.
Yeah.
And you said, this sounded like he wanted to say like Sabonis.
Yes.
But it didn't.
he literally almost, he's like, throughout the years, I've lost a lot of respect for guys, and kind of pauses. And I was like, he was like Sabonis,
right?
This series. But he didn't say it.
Not then.
Not then. Yeah, not then.
He went on his podcast and said this about Domas.
Lost a lot of respect for Sabonis. You don't shake guys' hands after you lose. I don't respect that. I once left the court when we lost in Game 7 of the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I went to my locker room and I sat down and I said, this don't feel right. And I walked back out on the court and I showed everybody love. You lost. Deal with it. Pay your respect. That was whack to me. That's whack. But I wouldn't necessarily even say lost respect. But I don't respect that, and that's whack.
So hang on.
So much there.
Did you or did you not? And it's not even about his play.
No, it's not.
Because he didn't shake hands at the end.
But also, Draymond said, I don't respect it, but I did that once.
Yeah, he said he went to the locker room, he did that, realized it didn't feel right, and then went back out on the court and shook people's hands.
With enough time.
Yeah. Whereas
Yeah.
Well, the Cavs had won the title. They were. On
that's
the
true.
court.
That's true. Right.
Yeah, they were
right,
chilling.
Right. So he had the
and also
luxury of
LeBron's his
that.
best friend, so he had to go out and
Yeah.
do that. Yeah. But Domas just bounced. And look, I think in most situations, I would agree with Draymond here.
Mm.
Like walking off the court, that's weak. Like that just remember when the Pistons did that to Michael Jordan?
Yes. They just walked. Yeah.
Right. In the last game, they all just left.
Haven't heard about that.
Have you not?
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that. Was
There's
that a big deal when people were talking about it?
There's this great documentary you should watch. It's called The
Really?
Last Dance.
Huh.
You remember
So-
COVID? Just happened during that.
That was rough.
Yeah, that was tough.
I had a Warriors writer, Sam Smith, the guy that wrote the Jordan rules.
Yeah.
We'd have him on the radio and stuff.
Yeah.
And after the last episode, I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, we'd love to have you on again." Da, da, da. And he gave me this really like existential response about how he's excited that this is over, so he can fade back into being nobody and oh my god, you all right, man? But no, here's so my thing with Sabonis is like you get stomped on the chest,
Yeah.
in the stomach, whatever. You got stomped in, you got elbowed in the eye with no call.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure, given the performance and whatnot, I'm sure there were some things said on the court during the series that were off color.
Yes.
Especially in the wake of the stomping.
Yes.
You had Chase Center booing him every time he touched the ball.
Relentlessly.
Every time he touched the ball. I get it.
I understand.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
And while Draymond's going to be like, I don't respect it. It's not that I lost respect. I just don't respect that he did that. But also
Acknowledge
Get
the
it.
other side of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Does
to.
Sabonis respect Draymond Green?
No.
No. There's not a chance in hell.
No chance.
No.
So I think he wants to get ahead of it.
That's true. Yeah.
Draymond's just trying to be a hater first.
Yeah. He's like, I actually disliked you before you even were
Yeah.
thinking.
And I just
There's also the HB stuff too, obviously.
Yeah.
HB's a teammate. He's a nicer guy. I wouldn't be surprised if Domas and HB are buddies. And
yeah.
I don't think that HB is leaving this series with more colorful feelings about his time in Golden State. So,
Look, man, I'm a sore loser. I am.
yeah.
I don't like losing. And to walk up to somebody who's talked all that trash and be like, hey,
Right. Put
great
all that
job,
behind us. Yeah.
nice job. I just can't. I'm not wired that way.
Yeah.
So Draymond Green would not respect me.
Yeah. Especially after you talk. Yeah. Like I'm actually, I feel like I'm a good sport. I guess who knows if I actually am, but there is a line for me. And I think everybody has their own line in terms of, sportsmanship when it crosses the line. To me, I agree with you that it must have been like the talking, the stomping, the elbow and it does reach a point where it's like, even the nicest guys are going to be like, you guys treated me like garbage. Like, you guys,
I'm out of here.
This series has really risen a lot of questions about Sabonis's career and where he was this season a complete wash for him? And I'm sure all of those things are going through his head at that moment. And he's just like, I'm done. Like, I'm done. I'm over this series. I'm out. As soon as that final whistle goes off, I'm out. And I don't blame him. I really I don't love the move. I don't think that's
definitely
good sportsmanship by any stretch, but like you're saying, I understand his side of things, and I understand how in that moment you don't make the right decision, but he's also a little warranted in his feelings, I would say. It's not like this is out of nowhere. It's not like he just doesn't respect, like that Bulls Pistons series we're talking about. It's not like they just don't respect them because they don't like what they're about. There's direct personal things that affected Domantas Sabonis that led to his decision to not do it. I don't like the decision,
but I get it.
I get it.
And I think Draymond Green would be wise to zoom out.
Draymond said he didn't learn anything about himself from this series, so I don't think he'll be doing any.
Keep in mind, Draymond Green came into the league in like 22 or 23. Almost 25.
He's 26, I think now,
and just lost his first playoff series. Draymond's in his mid 30s. Like, there's a
yes,
yeah.
There's a maturity gap.
It's time for lunchtime stories with Christopher Laud.
Let's do it.
Oh boy, Go ahead.
We interrupt this program for an important announcement.
It's that time of the day where Christopher Laud gives you the stories that you need to hear. Or maybe not. It's story time.
All right, gentlemen, I will let you know ahead of time. Both of these stories are positive.
Okay. I don't believe you.
They're both positive.
In what way? Just go.
Let's start with Dusseldorf, Germany.
Oh, boy.
Courtesy of the New York Times. What is the number one reason why you would not attend a live sporting event?
Cost.
Cost,
yeah, for sure.
Cost of tickets, yeah. Well, Fortuna Dusseldorf is going to try and take care of that for you. Fortuna, who is a mid-level team in the second league of Germany, will make some games next season completely free.
Okay.
So
Fortuna, bold strategy.
Fortuna Stadium, the Mirkier Spiel Arena, holds 54,600 fans, but this season they average around 29,000 fans. The club chief executive, Alexander Jobst, says they are trying to think about how we could do soccer business completely different from before. The team currently makes around 8 million euros from their gate receipts, but they'll try and replace that with commercial revenue and increased merchandise and concession sales at the stadium. And they say, as of right now, 3 games will be free next season, but Jobst says he hopes it could increase if the club can find more partners to make the entire season free.
Wow.
Interesting.
Isn't it weird seeing like, hey, how can we get people to like us more?
That's not a
The
bad
A's
strategy.
did the opposite.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
right.
did.
Like, what we're going to do is we're going to
You're gonna
charge
jack those
more.
prices up.
They did the A's.
Yeah.
The A's. What was it? The A's. That thing where you got half off concessions. That was great. You walk down and go get like a $4 tall boy and call it good. And then they stopped and they jacked up the prices. I love this. Shout out to Dusseldorf.
I think that's great.
Yeah,
Fortuna
that-
Dusseldorf.
how
That's a
awesome is
great
that?
idea.
Moving to Germany, going to become a soccer
It would
fan.
definitely make me more likely to buy things when you're in. I think that's the
big time.
premise, right? Is
Big
that
time.
they're gonna
1,000%.
Yeah.
I'd
Okay.
buy a new hoodie every game.
So,
I'm going to say show.
So I'm going to, before I start this, once again, it is positive.
Okay.
So just wait for it.
I don't like it. I don't
Cambridge, this comes from Cambridge, United Kingdom, courtesy of Wales Online.
Okay.
Okay.
64-year-old retired builder David Lindsay was taking a nap on the sofa
Oh, no.
when he was startled by his wife screaming.
Oh, geez.
While David was asleep, his 7-month-old bulldog puppy, Harley, had chewed his big toe to the bone and nearly chewed it off. David's wife rushed him to the hospital, and he has been there for 9 days. Despite the injury, David considers Harley a hero.
What?
That is because he discovered that his foot was completely numb. CT scans for his toe discovered he had 2 blocked arteries in his leg, and the blockages could have caused him to lose his leg. But now the plan is for him to get stents, which could return blood flow to his legs. Doctors do not know yet if they can save his toe, but David said if they have to amputate the toe, he's going to take it home to Harley as a treat.
What? Bro.
There's layers. What?
Thank God my dog almost chewed my toe off.
My first question was, how did he stay asleep while the dog was eating his toe? That was obviously answered. But then
When he
why did
when he takes the
yeah.
toe back to him, he's gonna be like,
Here
"Hey,
you go,
Harley,
boy."
you want a treat?" You just toss it down to him, let him gnaw on that toe for a bit. That's disgusting. But I wonder if the dog had some sense of like, "Hey, this isn't
That's
right."
what I was wondering. Yeah, like maybe it had a stench
Dogs,
to it.
bro.
Because it's one of those things, like
Dogs,
when
bro.
you're
Dogs,
messing around with like a dog or whatever, and they get a little too rough, like, hey,
Yeah.
no. And that's kind of how they learn. This is a puppy, so.
Yeah.
I
Either that, or they're gonna have a real problem because that puppy
That
has a
dog
taste for
is-
human flesh.
I think that's really.
I'm gonna choose to go the more positive route and think that Harley is a miracle doctor dog.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
That's what I'm.
We'll go with that because I think that second one's really possible.
Yeah,
Rabid dog on the loose.
All right.
Okay.
Well, all right. On the other side, who are you rooting for in round 2? Warriors or Lakers? We got to dive in.
It's a dog fight.
Oh, and we got Sean Cunningham coming up
next.
We're going to talk to Sean Cunningham on the other side, and then we'll talk about who you're rooting for, Warriors or Lakers. That's coming up on Chris and Company. I'm Kyle Madsen. That's Chris Watkins. It's Sactown Sports 1140.
Check out the Golf to Go Hour with Frank LaRosa every week on Sactown Sports. Get the latest on equipment, area courses, people who play the great game, and plenty of good conversations about golf. It's the Golf to Go Hour every week with Frank LaRosa on Sactown Sports. Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, America's most awarded golf facility. Naturewood Home Furnishings, where it's all about choices and always about quality.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. Spring officially here. And with the long, cold, and rainy winter behind us, I'm sure you're counting the days until summer. But don't wait until it's hot to make sure your air conditioner is working efficiently and, most importantly, safely. Get ahead of the problem with a $49 AC tune-up from American Energy Heat and Air. There's nothing worse than your air conditioner going out when it's hot outside. Get a tune-up today and make sure you and your family are comfortable and cool in your home for the hot summer months that are right around the corner. Give them a call, 916-520-9990, or schedule your appointment online at AmericanEnergyAir.com. Better Business Bureau, A+ rating. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. Easy, convenient payment options, same as cash, low monthly payments through financing partners. What do you need? 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own one report.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf.com's Josh Sens offers 5 common golf course maintenance mistakes and tips to correct them. You've hit the green, and to fix your divot, you jam your tool underneath the ball mark and lift the soil, but the right way is to circle the edges of the mark with your tool, gently pulling the turf toward the center. Second, when fixing divots in the fairway, fill it with sand until it's level with surrounding turf, and gently smooth it with your foot. Third, when the course imposes the 90-degree rule, it means to stay on the cart path until you can turn at a right angle to your ball, minimizing wear and tear on the turf. 4, when you're driving on the course, proceed at a modest pace and avoid staked and roped off areas. Avoid sharp turns, wet turf, bunker edges, tees, and greens. The superintendent will applaud you. 5, in a bunker, rake the sand smoothly and exit as you entered from the low side. Tap the sand from your shoes and leave it as if you weren't there. And now that you know, make sure your foursome knows as well. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
KHTK AM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your home for the Sacramento Kings.
It's Sactown Sports.
Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Chris Verlotta with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings' dream season came to an end yesterday when they lost the Warriors 120-100 in Game 7 at home. Warriors guard Stephen Curry had a monster game, scoring 50 points along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. Warriors will now host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday in the Western Conference semifinals. Those are your headlines. Now up next is Sean Cunningham of Fox 40 on Chris and Company with Kyle Madsen.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Rocking with you here in the noon hour. Quick reminder, in case anybody missed it, if you were dialed into something else like basketball.
Game 7s.
The 49ers had the NFL draft this week.
That whole thing.
They made their 9 picks. If you want a quick recap of that, head to SactownSports.com. Our guy Emil Fergosa had a really good write-up there on all their picks and his biggest takeaways. So get caught up on the draft because football season's coming up next. But we're still locked in on the Kings. We're looking back, looking forward, and we're going to do that now with Sean Cunningham of Fox 40. Sean, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to hang out with myself and with Chris. That's really nice of you.
Well, I get the invite. I'm down, man. I'm always down to hang. What's up, guys?
Taking it all in today, still kind of processing, the highs of a great season, but the lows of it obviously coming to an end the way it did. What was the vibe you got from the Kings yesterday in the locker room? Obviously they lost a game 7 that's not great, but was there any talk of like, hey, but this was still a really good year? Was it just everybody was kind of down?
No, that's exactly right, Kyle. I mean, there's certainly a bittersweet because realizing what this team has accomplished this season, you guys heard De'Aaron Fox after the game talk about the lessons learned and how it's a blessing and a curse to play a team that just won an NBA title last year. And, it was on probably the back end of still the dynasty era and certainly able to contend. And you gave them the biggest scare that they've ever seen in a first round playoff matchup, let alone some of the Western Conference matchups that they've had. So, and it took albeit one of the amazing playoff performances you'll ever witness on a basketball court. And Steph Curry with 50 points in the game 7, which had never happened before. And certainly there's some bittersweet. I think every player understood that there's brighter days ahead for the franchise. Some of them won't be a part of that. Some of them will. And De'Aaron Fox pointed out how many guys are just stepping into their prime and still not even have stepped into their prime. And but then, of course, as Malik Monk points out, and De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown, like, there is a pain and a sting that comes as a result of losing a game 7 on your home floor by 20. And you understand what happened in the third quarter with all those offensive rebounds that you just couldn't get. And taking that, like, there's an old adage that people will say all the time. It's like, you kind of have to have your heart broken and go through a pain like this to really rise above it, use it as motivation and put a big foot forward going into another season or what lies ahead for your future. And if you don't understand what that pain feels like, then you can't really go as far as maybe you're destined to go or can possibly go because you're not fueled by that pain. I don't know if I buy into that completely, but there is something to it. I've heard enough coaches and athletes and executives talk about that, and to hear those guys who really have never tasted the playoffs say just as much and wanting to use that as fire, not let that pain go. I even asked Fox after the game, man, like, you got guys who they'll have bad games and it's flush it, move on to the next. Well, you don't have that. You don't have that moment. There's no games tomorrow or on the horizon. So for him, he wanted to bottle up and keep it.
Sean, how much do you think De'Aaron's finger was bothering him throughout this series? And do you think that that's kind of where this series ended up turning, was just, he couldn't provide everything he needed to for this team to pull out the victory?
Yeah. I mean, if I'm taking word, I think he was very, very honest in his media availability when he said that he was going to play. I think certainly there were moments, you can certainly make contact with it, but it was all pain threshold. And as he said, it doesn't hurt a lot. And for him, it was really just adjusting to the splint that was on there. So yeah, De'Aaron goes out there and looks like the Fox we know. We're in less than an hour, we'll be talking. Well, I guess maybe not for him. He's a little bit further on the schedule, but in about an hour, we'll be talking to him on exit interviews. And if he opens up and says, yeah, man, this was a high pain threshold, I didn't want to make an issue of it. It might surprise me a little bit that there was a huge issue with the finger, but I honestly don't think there will be. I mean, even the way he talked about the tip of the finger and, you make contact, he said you can catch the ball, you can dribble the ball, you can shoot the ball, like everything else, is, and plus with the way adrenaline works in those games, I feel like it's like the ultimate painkiller for him. So, it'll be interesting to see what he says, whether or not something like that could require surgery in the coming weeks. We'll find out. But it would shock me to see if he comes out and says that it was more of a problem than it was.
Sean Cunningham, all over the Kings for Fox 40, joining us now. Did the Kings meet, exceed, fall short of your expectations in this series?
Oh no, I mean they exceeded my expectations. They were, first of all, just what an incredible series, guys. I mean, this is. I think we were all looking forward to a really entertaining series. We all thought that it would be, and even going into the series, like, it's going to be the most entertaining series of possibly of the playoffs, certainly of the first round. And then not only was it, but it even exceeded expectations beyond that. It was such an emotional series. It was a great series. It had all sorts of storylines. Each team had kind of experienced everything. I mean, both teams won on their home floor. Both teams, won on the road. Both teams experienced blowouts where they didn't look like themselves. And certainly, you had a whole bunch of drama along the way as well, as was going to be natural, and even after the fact. And and even storylines that could have been, like, can you imagine if Harrison Barnes had hit that shot?
Man.
The collateral damage that would have happened after that, especially for a guy who had been a warrior on that team and experienced 2016. So I feel like, this is incredible. The Kings run, I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of Bay Area media and fans who, who root for the Warriors and cover the Warriors that scoff at this notion. But it's true. Like, the Kings could have came in and gotten swept by the Warriors, and the season would still have been a success.
Yeah.
And they didn't do that. And I know, like, a Warriors fan might hear that and knowing that the success that they have, but it wasn't that long ago where, the Warriors were exactly in the Kings' place, having to do the same kind of journey and path and this playoff experience. And not only did they face getting backdoor swept, they came out in that Game 6 and absolutely, made a statement and showed that they could win in Chase Center, which not many teams have done. 33-8 was that home record in the regular season. So even for a Warriors team that might look a little wonky and a little different than what we've seen in recent years, and when they want to flip the switch, they're capable of doing so and looking like one of the best teams in the NBA. So I mean, I think the Kings grew up a lot. I think you see the development. You it's almost like that kid in high school that comes back next year and it's like, man, he's got hair on his chest. He's got hair in his armpits. But you're starting to grow a beard that might be even bigger than mine at this point. Like,
that's supposed to happen in high school.
It's that type of feel.
Sean, a lot of people were giving Domantas Sabonis a lot of heat for his performance in this series, and seemingly, people forgot about how important he was to this team during the regular season. Do you feel like that this is the Kings have a Sabonis problem moving forward, or do you think that that's more of just a product of playing the defending champs, and Golden State kind of makes all bigs look bad?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad you asked that question because I've seen social media and it's been a vile place. It always is a vile place, but it's not been great. A vile place for someone like Sabonis. Like, no, man, that's playoff basketball. I think there's so many people that go, Harrison Barnes didn't show up in this series. Domantas Sabonis didn't show up in this series. Kevin Huerter didn't show up. It's like, how about credit going to a solid defensive team in the Warriors? I mean, like, this is why playoff basketball is different than what you see in the regular season. Like, you have days to game plan against certain people. And for Domantas Sabonis, there's probably one guy you don't want to see, really two guys you don't want to see in a playoff situation. And that is what I keep calling the immovable object that is Kevon Looney and Draymond Green, who is just, such an intangible that brings so many different things for that Warriors team. And when you can clamp down on him and take away dribble handoff, which kind of made an appearance again in Game 7, you're forcing the Kings to play a different way than they normally do and taking the success away. It's much like what the Kings tried to do, who is a team that's not known for defense. And when you can sit there and game plan for a team through a 7-game series, you're going to start to know the quirks of the Warriors and how to figure them out. And all of a sudden you're going to look like you've figured some things out defensively, especially when it comes to physicality. So one series does not take away what Domantas Sabonis did in this season as an all-star. If you love the success that you're having and you love the success that De'Aaron Fox, that major leap forward he's taken, well, that's all credit to Domantas Sabonis coming here and taking so much pressure off him. Mm-hmm. He makes everybody better. He was quite good defensively in the series, I'll point out. And even in games he struggled offensively, he still had quite an impact. And I'll go back to that game 2 where I think it was game 2, but the game 1. I'm sorry, he gets tangled up with Draymond Green, and the Warriors are on a sprint. It's a crucial play. Who gets the rebound on the other end? It's Domantas Sabonis. So certainly, I don't think it changes the way people look at Domantas Sabonis. I hope not, but I do think it could change the calculus in saying, what does this offseason hold ahead for this team, and what do they need going forward? Look, you're not going up against Kevon Looney in a playoff series all the time, or in a crucial game. So I think getting him some help is exactly what would be on the recipe for this team.
Sean Cunningham, Fox 40, covers the Kings. Last thing real quick here for you, Sean. What's the Kings' number one priority this offseason for you?
I'll play along, but truthfully, Kyle, Chris, I honestly haven't thought that far ahead.
Wait, okay, hang on. Let's play off that then. Why?
Yeah.
Like, are you still just kind of taking it all in?
Well, part of it is because I haven't had the chance to really talk to a lot of people that I'd like to talk to in that type of discussion, and that helps kind of fold some opinions that I have, and at least being able to explain the why, kind of stuff that, the contextual stuff that you want to take into the offseason. I will say this. I mean, they have a hell of a decision to make when it comes to Harrison Barnes. They certainly have a really equally tough decision to make when it comes to someone like Trey Lyles, somebody like Sasha Vezenkov, who is factored into the equation of coming over after this summer and joining this team. Will, because as I've been told, 90% in for coming to Sacramento and adding a piece like him. So there are these factors that come in. Now that's on the horizon. I said at the trade deadline, and I said really at the beginning of the season, that I think what they need is an absolutely top tier. I don't know if top tier is the right word to use, but they need a versatile wing player. You almost kind of need 2 of them, but I don't know that exists on this. I don't think that exists on this roster. In fact, I know it doesn't. So that would probably be something I would circle, but rebounding is something that this team is going to need. Rebounding, toughness, defense, those are all the keywords and phrases you can come up with throughout this course of the season. Certainly it looks that way in the playoffs. And I maybe that can be someone like Vezenkov. Maybe that fits well with someone like Harrison Barnes if you pick him up. But make no mistake, like you'll be under the salary cap luxury tax, but over salary cap. So you're going to be below the $162 million luxury tax, but you have a lot of free agent holds. I think Harrison Barnes is like $27 million, right around there. So there's going to be some tough decisions that are going to have to be made going forward. And, Monty McNair will have his exit interview with the media later this week. And obviously he's going to have some tough decisions to make. But the big news is they're going to have, if you like this team, the majority of the core of this team will likely be remaining together outside of a trade here or there, because they're going to be able to return so many of these starting players and so many of these players that have played crucial roles on this team. So, to play along, I'd say probably just a versatile wing.
Sean, you were a delight. Thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to talking to you very soon.
Anytime, guys. Great to talk to you guys.
Thanks, Sean.
Sean Cunningham, one of the best covering the Kings for Fox 40. He talked about the idea of like this season and whether it was a failure or not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the viral Giannis clip about a season being a failure and not and whether a season where you don't win a title is a failure. If you didn't hear that, I want to play that sound on the other side.
Yes.
And talk about it in respect to the Kings.
Yes.
Because I think it's a really good example of what Giannis was saying. So we'll do that on the other side. I'm Kyle Madsen. That's Chris Watkins. This is Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The Coach of the Year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The Clutch Player of the Year.
Fox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
Finding great people to hire can be like trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Their powerful matching technology delivers so many qualified candidates It's like finding a needle in a needle stack. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. For less hay and more needles, head to ZipRecruiter.
And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. At ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Failure in sports.
Everybody goes through it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
There's levels to failing.
For sure. For sure.
The Kings losing in the playoffs is not the same as the Milwaukee Bucks losing in the playoffs.
First round. Yeah. Even though it's same circumstance, completely different.
Speaking of losing in the first round, I have a take. Winning is overrated.
Please expand. Please expand upon this take.
Wins don't matter.
Please explain, Warriors fan.
For real.
No, the Warriors, let's start there. Won 73 games in the 2015-16 season.
Sure.
Didn't win the title.
Yeah.
The New England Patriots went 18-0 going into the Super Bowl, lost in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The Seattle Mariners won 116 games in 2001, lost in the LCS. The Boston Bruins last night had the greatest regular season in the history of hockey, in the history of the NHL. They lost in the first round in a game 7 at home.
Yikes.
To a team that was like 46 or 47 points worse than them. Winning's overrated. That's my take. But
maybe regular season is overrated, which I think we've already kind of trended towards that being a thing.
We're all there.
You know, I think I'm hearing you there. Winning, what's the Bulls shirt? 72. What is it? Don't mean a thing if you don't get a ring.
Yeah. Hey, it's true.
It is.
Nobody talks about the 73-9.
Yeah. No one cares about stacking wins. It's about getting the big one.
Yeah. It's about stacking rings.
It's it's the rings culture that we're in now, which is also, you could argue, overrated.
Giannis and the Bucks, the number 1 seed, lost to the 8 seed Heat in the first round. Lost in 5.
Yeah.
Really tough. And Giannis got asked in his post game if he thought this season was a failure, and his answer went viral. And I think it fits the Kings perfectly. Let's recall that answer now.
Every year you work towards something, towards a goal, right? Which is to get a promotion, to be able to take care of your family, to be able, provide the house for them or take care of your parents. You work towards a goal. It's not a failure. It's steps to success, and if you've never, I don't want to make it personal. So there's always steps to it, Michael Jordan played 15 years, won 6 championships. The other 9 years was a failure? That's what you're telling me? No, I'm asking you a question. Yes or no? Okay, exactly. So why are you asking me that question? It's a wrong question. There's no failure in sports. There's good days, bad days. Some days you are able to be successful. Some days you're not. Some days it's your turn. Some days it's not your turn. And that's what sports is about. You don't always win. Some other people's going to win. And this year, somebody else is going to win. Simple as that. We're going to come back next year, try to be better, try to build good habits, try to play better, not have a 10-day stretch with playing bad basketball, and hopefully we can win a championship. So 50 years from 1971 to 2021 that we didn't win a championship, it was 50 years of failures. No, it was not. It was steps to it, and we were able to win one. Hopefully we can win another one. Sorry that I didn't want to make it personal because you asked me the same question last year. And last year, I was in the right mind space to answer the question back, but I remember it.
I have a couple things. I don't want to make this about Giannis and like what he had to say and where he came from and what
the situation they were in. Right. It's not about them.
Yeah, the Bucks, like as a team, went into the season saying championship is the goal.
Mm-hmm.
They fell short of that. Call it what you want. But I agree with what Giannis is saying, because for a team like the Kings, you cannot walk away from this season. Realistically, you cannot walk away from this season going, yeah, they failed this year.
Right. No, there's
if you're giving this season a grade, it gets an F.
Yeah, like because they lost in the first round. They're a 3 seed. They're supposed to go on. No, that's
You were so genuinely annoyed just now.
Yeah, like that's ignoring the entire point. Again, like only one team can win the championship.
Yes,
and like this whole, we were joking, but like this whole rings culture has really ruined what it just means to support a team, what it means to be like. How can you, the Kings, a perfect example, early 2000s, they didn't win a championship. We have so many great memories of those teams.
Mm-hmm.
We did all but win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And the respect that we have for those teams, the times that we all have remembering, you're trying to tell a Memphis Grizzlies fan that the grit and grind years, those didn't mean anything to those guys. Yeah. Watching them make the conference finals year after year after year, you don't have to win for the season to be a success.
Mm-hmm.
There's like you can have fun seasons. You can have memorable moments throughout a season. You can have seasons that end in second round losses be incredibly important to what the future holds for your team. The Warriors, they weren't always winning. They didn't enter the playoffs and win a championship.
Right.
Draymond talks about those losses. Do you remember? I'm sure you have fond memories of those Clipper series. I remember those Warriors Clippers series, and it was Lob City times, and it was like, wow, these Warrior teams, like they gave Lob City like a real, like, I know people say jump shooting teams can't win, but felt like they probably could have won. I think that the greater overall point is just you don't have to. There are successes, like Giannis said. There's successes along the way that you can take to build towards a bigger goal. Not everything is gonna always come up roses for you. Sometimes you have to lose in order to eventually win. And sometimes you might not ever win.
Yep.
That's also a reality of sports. Nobody is guaranteed to win.
At some point, the expectations are going to change. In fact, next year
they're
expectations
changing.
are going to change.
Yeah.
And maybe this conversation is a little bit different if they go out in the first round next year.
Right.
But for this year, I thought Giannis's point was spot on.
Perfect.
As it pertains to the Kings.
Yeah.
Who are you rooting for in the next round, though? And maybe you want to talk about it, maybe you don't, but we're diving in. He's Chris Watkins.
We'll find out next
I'm
segment.
Kyle Madsen. This is Chris and Company. Chris, it may or may not
it
be
might
Chris.
just be and Company.
It might just be me on the other side at Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Cattles and Rami.
This is that's right. He's got his shirt on, ladies and gentlemen. It's a Sacramento Kings shirt. Let's go. Oh, Boston boy. Let's go. Boston Nick got out the Kings shirt. Look at that. Let's go. You went out and spent money on that too, didn't you?
No.
Oh.
But let's go.
Cattles and Rami. Weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by the Arnold Law Firm. I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Monday forecast on this first day of May. We could say unseasonably cool and unsettled. We'll see a mix of sun and clouds for the afternoon with highs today in the mid-60s. Expect a few showers overnight tonight. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how a collision can turn anyone's life upside down in a heartbeat. So remember to be a little more alert on the road and stay safe. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Let Shane and his team at bridgehavenhomes.com take that stress away. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
Truck season savings extended at Maida Chevy in the Elk Grove Auto Mall. Got a huge selection of new 2022 and 23 half-ton Silverados in stock, ready to go. Find your savings at MaidaChevy.com. Find new roads.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kent Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kent Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Aldridge,
What you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoot Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 340 and Stonies Rockin' Rodeo. Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
The folks at M&S Auto know that inflation is tough on everybody. If you need an excellent, gently used car or truck, M&S has hundreds of vehicles on the lot on El Camino just off the Cap City Freeway. M&S customers get great deals and they save thousands. Get a great deal now on super clean 4x4s, including Tacomas, Silverados, and Jeeps, and muscle cars, Challengers, Teslas, Mustangs, and even the occasional McLaren. M&S Auto, msautogroup.com.
Everyone knows that an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Kenny and Jerry here from Bell Brothers, and that's especially true when it comes to your air conditioning system.
A precision tune-up and professional cleaning costs a little bit up front, just $87, but will prevent much bigger, more expensive, and inconvenient problems later.
We actually replace systems all the time from people who don't get annual tune-ups. They either forget or they just don't realize it's important. So instead of their systems lasting 12 or more years like they should, they need to be replaced in just 6 or 7 years.
Don't risk it. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Call Bell Brothers for an $87 air conditioner precision tune-up today and keep your system clean, energy efficient, and in good working shape.
Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at thenosurpriseguys.com. That's 916-444-1234 or online at thenosurpriseguys.com.
No surprise guys, Bell Brothers.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. I'm Chris Verlot with your Sactown Sports Headlines. Sacramento Kings' dream season came to an end yesterday when they lost to the Warriors 120-100 in Game 7 at home. Warriors guard Steph Curry had a monster game, scoring 50 points along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. The Warriors will now host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday in the Western Conference semifinals. There are 2 NBA games today. First will be the Boston Celtics hosting the Philadelphia 76ers for Game 1 of their series. 76ers center Joel Embiid is listed as doubtful tonight with a knee sprain, and ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Embiid will unlikely play tonight in Game 1. That game will be followed by the Suns at the Nuggets. Nuggets currently have a 1-game lead after their 125-107 win over the Suns on Saturday. Those are your headlines. Let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madsen.
Sitting at your desk, watch Chris and Company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Talking Kings, talking Game 7. I see Ken, I see Will, I see you guys hanging out on the line. If you want to join them, 916-339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. You can also text the show at 339-1140. Streaming now on YouTube, youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140. Trying to keep the vibes up.
Yeah. There's no reason. Again, go ahead and you can listen back to the entire show on YouTube right now if you if you haven't heard anything we've been talking about, but there's a lot to feel good about, people. Again,
yes,
go ahead and sulk in your own at your own pace. Feel free. It was a tough loss, Game 7. Obviously, Kings could have gone on, but lot to feel positive about, especially moving forward.
Mhm.
And a lot of positives to take out of the series. I know there were some bad, but a lot of good too. Just a lot of good that we can take moving forward.
Maybe you're here, maybe you're not. Have you decided who you're going to root for in the next round? Warriors, Lakers.
You might have to ask me on Tuesday once the ball gets tipped, and just kind of like, it might be.
You got to feel it out.
Yeah, I got to feel it out
Okay.
because.
Are you still going to go, Chris? Who are you
Verlaud
pulling for?
Suns or Nuggets.
Suns
or Nuggets. I do not care who wins between the Warriors and the Lakers. I just want them to lose the next round.
I just want both teams.
I want
to
one of them
lose.
to lose this round. Obviously, that's going to happen.
Of course.
And then the next one to lose in the next round.
Okay, that's fair. Are you a continue watching the playoffs person?
Yes, absolutely.
You're not watching. Okay, I'm the same way.
Yeah, definitely.
It's so funny when athletes, after they lose, they're like,
Like,
"Yeah,
I
I consumed
tuned
the
out."
sport." Like, wow.
I will say that it has taken a little bit of the punch out of it for me.
Yeah, no doubt. Like
Yeah.
you went from like living and dying with
Right.
every
Yeah.
single game to
Because obviously the Kings haven't made the playoffs in such a long time. So you
Right.
pick like a storyline that you like, okay, I'm going to follow this team. Oh, I
Right.
really want to see
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Right.
You could go through it. Now I'm just like, wait, what other games are even happening?
Right. It'll be nice to be
What are the
able to
series?
skip a game 3 or something. I don't have to watch it.
just to catch people up if you've just really only been locked in on Kings Warriors. The Heat just keep winning.
Yep.
They were down like 15 yesterday at the Garden
Yep.
and won against the Knicks.
In Madison Square Garden.
Like at MSG, like sure, man.
Sure.
Like,
Why
what-
not? Playoff Jimmy's just a thing, right? Like,
Steph Curry's 50-point game wasn't the best game of the playoffs.
Yeah, right. Like
crazy.
that's
So true.
nuts.
So true.
I didn't even thought about that.
That is
Nut-
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Butler.
Jimmy's been on another level.
Somebody tweeted that Jimmy Butler is the player who, like, the next generation of kids is going to come up and look at Jimmy Butler's stats and be like, well, he wasn't that good.
Right.
But those of us who were there will.
Who are there will be like,
And I get
"No,
it.
that fool was
I get it now with like the MJ better than LeBron stuff. I'm like, well, if you look at the numbers, like it's kind of a, but people are just like, who watched Michael are like,
Yeah, no, it
You
was
had to be
different.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
You had to be there,
all right,
kind of thing.
All right, that's fair. I'll let you fill in my worldview on that. I didn't experience it.
Yeah, Jimmy definitely falls in that category.
Ken is on the line. He wants to talk about the Kings season. Ken, you're on Sactown Sports 1140. What's up, buddy?
Well, I got to tell you, as a Kings fan, this was a surreal experience because, for the first thing, I've never rooted against Stephen Curry. While the Warriors have been on this run, I've been, Northern California, hey, the Warriors, way to go, way to go. So this is the first time I've ever experienced rooting against Stephen Curry. And now I know what fans in Boston and Cleveland and all those other places may feel because he's a killer and it gets you. On the other side, I think the way the Kings handled this loss, looking at the pairs, listening to the players, listening to Malik Monk, listening to De'Aaron Fox, how they talked about viewing this as a learning experience and it's something you got to go through. That's what excites me more than anything else in terms of looking at how they accepted this and understood there's levels to these things and they know they've got to get there. And for me, looking at the Kings and looking at the growth that as a team, because in the second half of the season, when they came out after the All-Star break and everybody was waiting for the collapse, they got better. They don't talk about it, but prior to the last couple of games, the Kings had one of the best records after the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like looking at a playoff or gambling with the house's money. There was no way as a Kings fan we were going to lose. And if we won the series, great. But now that the Warriors have won, I'll do what I've always done. I've always rooted for the Warriors and the Kings. One thing I do know, I'm a Kings fan first. I'm a Warriors fan second. That's clearly established. But if our Warriors go on to win, I won't feel bad at all because I feel that the only team that could have beat the Kings in the first round was possibly Golden State, maybe Denver. If they'd have played anybody else, they'd have been going to the second round. That's how I feel about this team. I feel so great about what they gave us in the city of Sacramento, and I'm just looking forward to what's to come.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Yeah.
Where do you land on Kings fan first, Warriors fan second?
I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. But,
not policing. Just where do you?
Where do I personally fall on that? I mean, it's Kings first, Warriors like 29th or something.
29th? I'm ahead of the Lakers.
We'll find out.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Honestly, probably.
It would be so funny if you were like 29th, and I'm like ahead of Lakers, and you're like, nah, the Hornets.
Nah, the Hornets.
I'm just out on
I hate the Hornets. Oh my God! Don't get me started on James Borrego. Yeah, no. I mean, I have rooted against. I'm the complete opposite of Ken there. I have rooted against the Warriors at every single series they've been in.
Is it just the proximity?
It's the proximity for sure, but it's probably the proximity, but also they're whatever people say, like they're the Kings rival. They're one of the Kings rivals, right? Like the Lakers, the Sun, the people in their division, the teams that they play the most. Like I'm not going to root for those guys. I mean, not unless there's a clear, unless they're playing Dylan Brooks or somebody that I can vilify more. But in my opinion, I don't want to see the Warriors succeed. The Warriors, I talk about it all the time. They directly stole Kings fans in Kings territory. There are so many kids who are Warrior fans growing up.
The lost generation
because the Kings sucked. The Kings sucked and it wasn't cool to be a kid and be a Kings fan. And so that's really where my beef stems. But again, I'm not going to blame anybody for feeling that way. Like the Warriors the Warriors were fun.
I think for me, I definitely am like you can. It's like I have one favorite team,
right?
But it's for Ken. It sounded like he's not just gonna. He just doesn't mind if the Warriors go on to win. He's not gonna go put on a Steph Curry jersey and like root for him.
Right.
I rock with that.
Also, I don't know how old Ken is, but I'm guessing maybe he was here before the Kings got here. So it's one of those, I'm a Warriors fan. Oh, we got a team in Sacramento
that would
now.
make sense.
So
that would track.
I think with the older generation that was here before the Kings, I think that's a lot of them.
That would make sense.
There's also an appreciation, I think, to build off of Chris's point, for older fans where they saw the Warriors be where the Kings were for this period. And so it's not as much as like because in my eyes, for my lifetime, the Warriors and Warriors fans are just the new age Laker fans. Like the way that we felt about Laker fans when in the early 2000s, those are the feelings that I have for Golden State because they're just, they're just at all, I think their fans are just as annoying, just as loud, just as obnoxious. Kyle's great though, but it's
one of the good ones.
I just don't feel that way.
East Bay Warriors fans I like.
Yeah. Those in the far East Bay you're in. No, I am the rivalry is real now. Like it's very much,
and it doesn't have to be hostile either, but it is a rival.
Oh, it got hostile.
It got hostile for sure.
It got crazy.
I think in terms of respect on the floor, like I think those teams, with Draymond and Sabonis and
it's
HB
definitely fan driven.
Yes, definitely. I think the guys on the floor really respect each other's games on both sides equally. It feels like the fans are on opposite ends.
Those games are going to matter now, though.
Yeah.
Like every Kings Warriors game is going to have a little extra juice for now.
Yes. Those regular season games are I still think there'll be 50-50 split in the crowd in terms of the attendance, but they're going to have a lot more juice to them.
Warriors Kings is going to be a Christmas Day game, right?
Ooh.
You know what? Now we talked about that a couple weeks ago. A caller brought that up, and the only opposition was really if Golden State were to face Memphis in this next round, it would have reignited some of those feelings. But with that not happening,
let's
like we're trending that.
I want to expand on that. That's a great question, Chris. Warriors Kings playoff Christmas game next year. Did the Kings get a Christmas Day game?
They haven't had one, I think, since 2004.
Ooh. Let's talk about that on the other side. That's Chris Watkins. I'm Kyle Madsen. It's Sactown Sports 1140.
Sactown Sports is Sacramento's new home for the San Francisco 49ers.
It feels awesome. We deserve this. Let's go, Niners!
Purdy
gonna throw, and it is Kittle in the back of the end zone.
Samuel.
Devo 10. Devo touchdown!
And McCaffrey.
Touchdown! CMC!
They all live here on Sactown Sports.
Your official home for 49ers football.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with 0 down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
0 down with approved credit. Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Eric was way behind on his taxes.
I owed a lot of money to the IRS, almost $15,000. I tried to make payments.
The IRS wasn't satisfied with Eric's efforts, so they came after him full force.
They're coming to put a lien and a hold on all my income, my home, my car. I was just overwhelmed at what to do.
Then Eric called Optima Tax Relief.
When Optima Tax got involved, the calls would stop, the threats would stop. It was easy like 1, 2, 3.
Optima Tax Relief is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, and their team of expert tax professionals took care of Eric's problem.
I owe $15,000, and now my debt is clean. I don't owe anything.
Take Eric's advice.
If you have a tax problem, you need to call Optima Tax now.
Call Optima Tax Relief for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Listen to Oakland A's baseball on the weekends all season long right here on Sactown Sports, beginning with the pregame show brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
Kevin Lewis of National Garage Door. Whether you need to repair a broken spring, install a new opener, or buy a quality Rainer door, National Garage Door is here for you. Call us today to see how we can transform your house with a new garage door.
638-4554 National Garage Door.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Trying to have some fun today. Thanks everybody for hanging out. We appreciate you.
We're learning some good news too.
Yeah, we are. De'Aaron Fox at his exit presser said that his fractured finger should be healed in 2 to 3 weeks. He will not need surgery. Our guy, Frankie Cardicelli, the Kings Cowboy, is at the presser now. You can check out his stuff at SactownSports.com. That's very good news.
Great news.
Because then you run the risk of like, okay, surgery, he's out for this many months.
Exactly.
And then he's spending his whole summer getting his finger right.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't need that.
Good news. A couple weeks
Great
off.
news. Yeah.
And he's going to be good to go.
And it's not, again, we said it when it happened, but it's not his ankle. It's not his knee. It's not something that's going to prevent him from, he can still do other basketball activity, get in shape, whatever. Keep himself in. Something I would love to see. I'm curious if anybody's going to do it, but like do you try and stay in shape while the playoffs are going on? Because, again, the goal is not every year to make it to this point and then stop. I would like to see them, continue for the next 2 to 3 weeks and get used to what would this have looked like
playoff run,
if we would have made the Western Conference Finals and stuff. That could be even further development. That could be 2-3 years down the line, but I'm curious if anybody picks that up right now.
Also good that it's not like an ankle or knee, because nobody's ever going to be like, De'Aaron Fox was just never the same after that finger injury.
Right.
Just never quite the same.
Didn't have the same boost. Didn't have the same leaping ability.
Feels like he lost a step.
Maybe he stops dunking. We saw him really take an uptick in dunks this year. I'm curious if with that busted finger, I remember Willie Cauley-Stein kind of did it, and obviously it affected Willie quite a bit. But it's something to think about. Maybe just we see less throwdowns from De'Aaron in the future.
That'd be a bummer, because he's one of my favorite dunkers to watch.
He's a great dunker.
He just does it with so much vigor.
Yes,
there's just so much.
Yeah, he throws it. He throws it through the floor almost.
And he's one of those guys that's like 6'2", 6'3". So when he gets up to dunk, he really gets up.
Yes, that dunk in, what was that, game 3?
Yeah,
on Jordan Poole.
Whew. Where he was like coasting.
Yeah, and then he just 2 steps, boom, took off, and you could and Jordan was like, I'm not even gonna leap for this, because
good business decision.
Great business decision, because it would have been a poster. It would have been a nice one too.
Would have been then Jordan Poole might not have played well the rest of the way.
Yeah.
He
He was not great.
He was abysmal.
His contract starts next year.
Will wants to talk about Game 7. So Will, you're on Sactown Sports 1140. What's going on?
Yeah, what's up, guys? I expected the babyface assassin to probably win that game in the last second or some with a 3-point shot, something like that. I didn't expect them to get blown out like that in the second half. I believe they were up by 1 at halftime, I believe.
Yeah, the Kings,
Yeah, 2, I think.
Yeah, they were up by 1 at halftime, and it just didn't seem like we got much out of Harrison Barnes at all yesterday. I don't think he had 1 rebound. I think he scored a couple points, but he really didn't bring anything yesterday. And he's the veteran with the championship experience. But the Looney thing, man, Looney has averaged about 20 points a game and 20 rebounds a game in every one of these games. I mean, I don't understand that. I don't understand you can adjust to that, make adjustments. I mean, this guy just killed. That's what killed us. That's why we lost this series. And you saw the one situation where Golden State had got about 5 or 6 offensive rebounds in a row.
Mm-hmm.
You can't allow that. And then, Coach, it was like, Coach, if that was Popovich, just think about if that was Popovich's team.
Mm-hmm.
You letting the team get all these offensive rebounds. He would have called a timeout and cussed everybody out, man. It was like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
How is it we letting Garrett Payton Jr., we letting all these guys get rebounds on us, and Domas just standing there, and Looney, I guarantee you, Looney cannot outjump Domas. I guarantee it.
No, he doesn't get off the floor very far.
Neither does Domas.
No, I get what he's saying a little bit.
Yeah, I understand the frustration.
Looney's a dog, man.
That's the thing, is there's not enough respect for Kevon Looney in that. There's Kevon Looney, it's not about his leaping ability. It's about, me and Whitey have been talking. He's got that, we talk about The Last Dance, Dennis Rodman in that, talking about how, just based off of how it goes off the rim, where it's going to land.
Yeah.
It's like that level of IQ for Looney's not even jumping. He's on the floor. He just knows exactly where it's going to go. He's always in the right spot. And, the Kings, what was the Kings' answer for trying to stop Looney? Putting in the guy who literally led the NBA in rebounds.
Right. What else do you do? What adjustment do you make there?
How much dedication can you put towards rebound? Blocking out one guy. You can't put 2-3 guys on Looney. The Kings did that in Game 5, and Gary Payton got 4 offensive rebounds. There's other guys who are capable. If you put too much attention on one guy, other guys can still get offensive boards as well. Looney was just a problem. He was just an absolute problem. 10 offensive rebounds in Game 7. Andrew Wiggins had 4 in Game 7 as well. It's a problem that the Kings have to address across the board. It's not just on one guy. I don't think it's on scheme either. They just might need another big to be out on the floor with Sabonis. Also, is this really something that we need to think about moving forward? Or was this just a Kings went against a guy who got 20 rebounds in 3 games? Like, it could just be a Kevon Looney problem.
I sent this stat out on Twitter. Looked this up yesterday.
This was great. Yeah.
Kevon Looney had as many 20 rebound games in this series as, I don't have it in front of me, Hakeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Karl Malone, Dikembe Mutombo, and Bill Walton had in their playoff careers.
Like, what are we talking about?
That's
not like that. You got to, at some point, you just got to give credit to that guy. It's like one time, okay, yeah, maybe it's scheme. Maybe we need to do a better job of figuring out how to make life tough for him. Twice, all right, maybe we really need to pay. 3 times, it's like,
what are you going to do?
Guys, this guy is clearly this is elite. He's just elite at doing
and
this.
He did, and it should be said, too, Kevon Looney did this in the regular season as well.
Yes. It just wasn't.
Led the league in offensive rebounds.
Yep.
So, he's
just good. Like, at some point, I know Kings fans don't know a lot about Kevon Looney because he's not Steph, he's not Draymond, he's not Clay, but the dude is good at basketball. Yeah. Like, he's good at what his role is.
Yes.
And what Golden State needs him to do, he's the only one who can do it.
That was the thing I underestimated the most going into this series, was the impact Looney was going to have.
I think everybody did. Yeah, for sure.
And I know about Kevon. I know that he can play, and I know the Warriors used to be comfortable switching him onto James Harden like one-on-one, and they were fine with it. Like he'd and not stop him every time, but they were comfortable putting him on that island. I knew that, but Domas was just such a force this year.
Right.
And he's still, like, it's not like Domas averaged 10 and 6.
Right. No, he averaged 11 rebounds a game.
Yeah. So he's still really good. But I didn't realize Looney was gonna do the damage.
Kevon Olajuwon. We weren't expecting that.
Moses Malone, some are saying.
Moses Malone is incredible.
One of our callers said an interesting thing. He said that the Kings got blown out. And I don't know if they did. I want to dive into that.
That's interesting.
Because it's a really, really interesting kind of a concept there. I know they lost by 20. That's a blowout, but it didn't feel that way. In a big game, would you rather see your team get blown out, or would you rather it be close? Let's talk about that on the other side.
Tough one.
This is Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
Catch the Oakland A's every weekend on Sactown Sports. Friday nights, Saturdays, and Sundays.
Thinking that's going to get down for a hit. Around third to score is Tony Kemp. And the A's have taken the lead. Edge of the track makes the catch. And the Athletics get a great win.
Sactown Sports, your weekend home for the Oakland A's.
Sactown Sports coverage of the Oakland A's is brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant or harder to follow. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Cordell.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family, bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value has increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you could get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer, not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made in the USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Hey, movie fans, the Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is now serving adult beverages. Playing this week, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, an IMAX 2D and 3D experience.
It's time to save the universe.
Let's give the galaxy something to remember us by.
See Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 on the largest screen in Sacramento. Visit IMAX.com/Sacramento for tickets and reserved seating. Select showtimes in 3D. Plus, join the free IMAX Directors Club to receive special member pricing on tickets and more at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. CalHope can help. Access CalHope's free and secure mental health resources today. Call 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org.
A car buying that's electrifying, yes, a great ride and go. You'll be smiling, help grow. Get your motor in, open road in, whip down, turn it into a highway. The Elk Grove Kia peace of mind guarantee is a 20-year or 200K warranty. No hassle, no worry, you bet your ask anybody who can turn your highway into a smile way.
Spring is here, and Elk Grove Kia has some incredible offers, like the all-new, all-electric EV6 for just $549 plus tax. What about the sporty Nero EV all-electric, just $397 plus tax? Worried about credit? Don't! Elk Grove Kia's team has over 100 years of combined finance experience. Bad credit? No problem. Elk Grove Kia says yes when others say no. Both payments are examples of 36-month leases, $3,999 customer cash with signing plus DMV registration and taxes, 10K per year, 20 cents per mile, subject to Kia finance approval, 720 plus FICO score to qualify. Offer expires 4/30/2023. One of these names, CB6 GK8609, Euro EV GK8598.
Elk Grove Kia.
Ace fans need Friday night plans? Well, we got you covered. Get 4 tickets and parking for any Friday night game starting at just $49 with the Friday 4-pack presented by Chevrolet. Save big and enjoy great matchups, post-game fireworks and drone shows, giveaways, and more this 2023 season.
He drills one to right, way back, and no doubt, and that quickly the A's have taken the lead. Second deck.
Friday night tickets are available at athletics.com/value. That's athletics.com/value.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
KHTKAM HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Your home for the biggest matchups in the NFL. Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports.
Headlines.
I'm Christopher Lott with your Sactown Sports headlines. Sacramento Kings' dream season came to an end yesterday when they lost the Warriors 120-100 in Game 7 at home. Warriors guard Steph Curry had a monster game, scoring 50 points along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. The Warriors will now host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday in the Western Conference semifinals. There was some good news today for the Kings. According to our Sactown Sports Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, De'Aaron Fox said that his fractured finger should be fully healed in 2 to 3 weeks and that there is no need for surgery. There are 2 NBA games today. First will be the Boston Celtics hosting the Philadelphia 76ers for Game 1 of their series. 76ers center Joel Embiid is listed as doubtful tonight with a knee sprain, and ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Embiid will unlikely play tonight in Game 1. That game will be followed by the Suns of the Nuggets. The Nuggets currently have a 1-0 lead after their 125-107 win over the Suns on Saturday. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and Company with Kyle Madsen.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Talking Kings, talking Game 7. Trying to keep the vibes right.
Trying.
You can be bummed if you want. I'm not going to tell you how to feel. Feel how you want, act how you want, live how you want.
It's over.
Yeah.
We are screwed.
Oh, well,
okay.
I don't think that's
I
necessary.
don't know about screwed.
Yeah. No, I just it's a tough way for the year to end. But
It's tough, but it's not. Again, it's not going to define the season, though.
No, that's the way to say it.
Yeah.
It's not going to the 2022-2023 Sacramento Kings are not going to be defined by
Game 7 loss. No.
There's a few things I want to get to. What are we going to? We had a caller last segment who said the Kings got blown out. I know they lost by 20. It didn't feel like they got blown out.
I guess right.
To me, being blown out is you were down 15 at the half and then you lose by 30 plus, where you were just never in it. But the Kings led at halftime. And until midway through the third quarter, honestly, end of the third quarter, because Klay hit the 3 with the and one for the 4-point play to push it to 10 at the end of the quarter. And like the Kings had battled back. They'd weathered storms. The Warriors went on a run. They got up double digits. The Kings cut it back to 6. And then Klay had the 4-point play.
Yeah.
And from there, the wheels kind of came off a little bit. But to me, they didn't get blown out. I don't think they got blown out.
I think by definition it is, but I know what you're saying. Like it didn't feel like one. Like spiritually, it didn't
They
feel
belonged
like
on the court.
Like if someone after the game were to say the Warriors blew out the Kings, it wouldn't have felt like you really watched the game. Like
The Lakers blew out the Grizzlies.
Yes.
In game 6.
In game 6. That was a wall-to-wall blowout.
Yes.
The Kings almost I don't know if this really even fits, but the fact that the Kings almost didn't even show up in that fourth quarter also makes me feel like it's not even really a blowout because they just didn't even show up.
Yeah.
Like, you know, which is part of a blowout is a team obviously has to score significantly more amount than the other team. But, you know, it wasn't the fact that it was a back and forth game and Golden State just blew them out. It was just the Kings stopped making shots. And, you know, that's the nature of a game 7. But I agree with you that it didn't feel like one.
The other layer to this, and the reason I don't feel like it doesn't feel like a blowout to me, is because it wasn't like, oh man, Klay Thompson got rolling and Andrew Wiggins is making a shot. Oh, and then Draymond Green started hitting shots and Gary Payton II hit a 3. It's like, no, it was Klay missing, Looney offensive board, Steph doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like that was Wiggins misses, Looney offensive rebound, Steph doing stuff.
Yep.
And it was just kind of, I don't know. I don't think they got blown out. I learned during the NFC title game when the 49ers lost by 30 or whatever it was to the Eagles.
Got blown out.
31-7, 38-7, whatever the final was.
I should remember.
They got blown out.
That was great.
No, I learned in that moment that I way prefer my favorite team to get throttled in a big game than lose a close one.
That's a tough one. It's definitely an individual basis.
No doubt.
I think
doubt.
there's obviously no right answer. I think I would rather have my team show up. Like, and I do feel like the Kings showed up. That's why I don't feel
that yesterday to me, if you're a King, that's like the ideal.
If you're going to lose by a lot,
the ideal loss, which sounds weird.
Right. I don't know, because again, I'm process oriented. You know, I'm very much like I loved game 4. I said, like, I thought game 4 was the best game that the Kings played. They just didn't hit a shot at the end of the game that could have won it for them. But I prefer my team to look good at all points, and I can live a lot easier with the fact that, maybe a shot didn't go our way, but that's kind of how sports is. At least we showed why we were in that moment.
Yeah.
And maybe the Kings specifically is a little bit different emotions for that, because the Kings do have a lot to prove to other people. But I think in general, I always want I always want to feel like my team has a chance. And especially in a big game, in a Super Bowl, in a conference title game, it would just, I've seen my Minnesota Vikings not show up to a couple conference title games. It's just not a good like, to me, that I think I fall in the category of I want it close, because if they don't show up, it's just like, you guys are bums.
So,
you were never going to win the Super Bowl in the first place if this is how you showed up to this.
So that's the thing, is in a blowout, I write it off personally. And again, this is different for everybody.
Yeah.
But the thing for me is I tell myself, like, oh, they just had a bad game. Like they picked a bad time to have a bad game, let the cope begin in the second half, and you just write it off as that.
Right.
But like game 7 of the 2016 NBA Finals, like, what if Andre Iguodala would have dunked it? What if he dunked?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to.
And you don't want to live with that.
Yeah, and I don't want to just that over and over. Like,
sure.
Like, what if Steph blows by Kevin Love and gets a layup instead of getting locked up by Kevin Love? Like it's all these the behind the back pass to Clay. All these little things just live in my
rent-free.
in my brain. The Warriors have gone on to have success, and it still just eats at me.
Yeah.
Whereas the Niners getting blown out in the NFC title game,
it's almost like it didn't happen, right? Yeah.
Doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But
that's interesting.
The Niners losing in the Super Bowl to the Ravens, I will never watch a second of that game again.
Yeah.
Because all I can see is Colin Kaepernick failing to throw it to Michael Crabtree.
I'm really Verlad, how do you feel about this? Because you watch a lot of soccer too, and so I feel like in soccer it's a lot more either blowout or show up kind of moments. How do you feel? Just in general too. It doesn't necessarily have to.
If it's a blowout, you've got time to. It's like we were talking the 7 stages of grief or the 5 stages of grief.
Yeah.
To like at the end of yesterday's game, just like, all right, it's over.
Acceptance.
Like you just accepted it. Like that one of you losing like a last second shot. It's just
takes a lot.
That didn't just happen. Oh, they're going to review this. Oh, it's going to get turned over. Why didn't they call that foul right there? What are they even doing?
Right.
Please just give this to them.
Yeah. And then it's like, that's one that what if that shot rattles out instead and it just eats it. That's where I land.
That's fair.
Maybe that says something about me as a person.
I think it all says something about the person, right? Because it's like, I don't know.
As a soccer fan too, my team is killing it. So
I nobody asked that.
So it doesn't really happen. But it like at soccer games, it can sometimes be fun. Like when you're losing like 4-0, 5-0, because fans just like start singing dumb songs and stuff like that, and just it can be fun.
Right. It's a lot easier to make jokes about it when you're getting smoked.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh well.
Well, Kings fans have lost for 16 years.
Yeah. And then it just when you lose in heartbreaking fashion, it
does hurt. It definitely hurts. I think Chris pointed at it there. It is a little easier to get because you do the grieving process during the game. Like you're saying, Chris, like you kind of get those steps in motion throughout the game when you're getting blown out to when you're at the end of the game, like Chris said, you're just kind of like, yeah, this happened. I already lived through it. I already went through the emotions. It already hurt, but you don't have the proper time after, like, you said that after that Warriors Cavs game 7 in 2016, you're just like, I have to lay down. Like, I just have to, you have to have some time to digest what you just witnessed.
I laid down. Here's what Game 7 of the 2016 finals happens. I was living alone in my apartment in Arizona. Game happens. Game ends. Mo Spates at the buzzer throws a 3. They were down 4. It wasn't going to matter. TV off, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not watching post. I'm not watching
trophy
interviews.
celebration. Yeah, you don't know who won MVP.
Nothing, dude. And my buddy at a radio station I used to work at had the drop of LeBron yelling, "Cleveland, this is for you." Every time he played it, I wanted to punch him in the face. But I turned that off and I'm like, I need to get away from sports. I need to watch anything but that. Orange is the New Black. I was watching that at the time. And the new season was out. And so I turn it on and I don't want to say the spoiler on air, but it's the episode, maybe the most devastating episode. I think it's about season 3, season 4. Just a devastating, gut-wrenching, awful event happens in the show, and that was the first episode I turned on. It's like, this can't get worse.
Yeah, no, just always go for like Cooking Channel or something. Yeah,
yep, I'm going to bed. I might have turned on John Mulaney actually after that.
That's what you should have done. You should have gone with the comedy route.
Well, it's usually Orange is the New Black, as kind of a like dark comedy, and then it just got
dark,
heavy, emotional, and dark. Just.
Did you watch anything yesterday, Chris?
No, I didn't. No, I clocked out and I played a lot of MLB The Show, played some video games, and just kind of mentally checked out for like 2-3 hours. It was pretty nice.
Decided to go with Veep.
What did you do?
You went with Veep?
Yeah.
I hear great things about Veep.
Amazing show.
Yeah.
Oh, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm in on that show. That's another one where I've watched like 4 or 5 of them, and I'm like, this is great. And I've not watched it.
Never.
It's amazing because it's one of those shows where you watch it all the way through. And then when you go back and rewatch, you're like, oh, they set that up like 2 seasons before. Like the last joke of the series was like started in the first episode.
Hilarious.
She said, wouldn't it be crazy if I became president? And then she became president.
Oh, you almost got it.
Well, I mean, I figured the show about someone being vice president that her possibly.
Ironically, most of the show is about her being president.
Oh.
Huh.
Spoilers.
Now I'm in. I'll watch it now. I'm going to watch it.
And it is scary. If you watch it now, it's scary how much they kind of predicted what politics would become. Or what politics already was, and then it's just out in the open now.
Are you the friend of mine that hates House of Cards?
Like I saw the first, I don't hate it, but it's just like,
Okay, then never mind. I have a friend that just hated House of Cards, like with a burning passion.
Because of who's on it?
No, well, now, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, before, okay.
It was just like, what? Why? What? No. Just the writing style and some of the choices.
I think that
you're out on West Wing.
I think West Wing is worse than House of Cards.
Oh my God.
And I think that West Wing is faker than House of Cards and Veep.
Oh, definitely. I feel like that's definitely good. Based on what I know about House of Cards and what you've said about Veep, that definitely tracks. Chris, I need to ask you a question because you said something during a show last week.
Thanks for listening.
You're welcome. You said something during a show about Stephen Curry that made my head spin a little bit because it's the first time I'd ever heard it.
I call him Wardell.
And I want to address that with you because it hurt me.
Oh.
And we need to talk it out.
Okay, let's do it.
That's Chris and Kyle. It's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
Are you ready to hear this on Sactown Sports?
Hand off McCaffrey. Touchdown! San Francisco!
Or how about this?
Feels super, baby! The five-time Super Bowl champions, and they're looking for number 6.
Catch every Niners game during the 2023 season
on your home for the 49ers.
Sactown Sports.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I want to talk to you about my friends at American Energy. We can all agree on one thing. Your time is important. That's why at American Energy Heat and Air, they make shopping for a new air conditioner easier with their new online quoting tool. Now, all you have to do, go to AmericanEnergyAir.com and get an instant quote today. It'll help you determine what system you'll need to get and provide those great pricing options they have, the best pricing options, all from the comforts of your home without having somebody coming to your house. Visit AmericanEnergyAir.com. Check out how easy it can be. Or if you want to give them a call and talk through what your specific needs are, call 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Live and local, it's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
We back.
Like we never left.
Like we never left. Like we never went down the hall to get water.
90 seconds is quick, isn't it?
It is a quick
time. Especially when you're expecting 4 or 5 minutes. It's my bad. I just forgot.
Oh, did you hear it in the hallway?
Yeah. I was sitting there and I'm getting my water. First of all, this water bottle takes 9 minutes to fill up. It says 20 ounces. It takes 40 ounces to fill up. And then I'm sitting there and then all of a sudden I hear 24 karat magic. I'm like, uh-oh. Gotta get back.
Do you know that Chris Watkins hates that song? Hates Bruno Mars.
I can't stand Bruno Mars.
I had to pod up just for this.
Hey, I will take all smoke. I very much dislike Bruno Mars.
Caller hotline.
The music feels very just calculated to me.
You mean like
he knows that it's a good song?
Yes, like he is not truly just making music out of the joy from his heart, from his spirit. Instead, he's mathematically figuring out like he treats music like it's an equation that he can solve, and he's just trying to make wedding music and music that's for specific events.
Multiple Bruno Mars songs at my wedding.
He's trying to, exactly. Same with every wedding. Sorry, no offense, but every wedding is played tons of Bruno, and I just feel like he's specifically catering to those audiences. He's trying to make popular music. How dare he?
He's trying to rip coke and make bangers.
What happened at a wedding to where you hate Bruno Mars so much?
Bro, it's just like the Cha-Cha Slide, all those songs, like I'm just out
Bruno
on.
Mars did not make the Cha-Cha Slide.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, that is a very wedding set. Not that I think that song was specifically made. Maybe it was made for weddings, but I just am not a fan of wedding music, I think is my bigger overall take.
Just I feel like there's something deeper happening right now.
No.
You need to talk about this?
It's just Bruno Mars, not a fan.
You're just out on Bruno.
Just out on Bruno.
You're out on ABBA, Dancing Queen.
Yeah, sure.
Probably out on that.
Yeah.
Your wedding is just going to be all like grunge.
Yeah, all grunge, all like.
No, we have established that Chris is not a fan of music.
I'm not. Yeah, I would not.
Wait,
say.
Really? You're just out on music?
I wouldn't say I'm out on music.
You love Drake, which tracks then? Hold on, hang on, pause. Hold up. This guy. First of all, the thing I wanted to say, you said last week that you hate Steph Curry, which really bugs me.
I very much stand by that.
We can
pick an argument, Kyle.
I get it now, but hold up. So you don't like Bruno Mars because you feel like he calculates and tries to make music that's going to sell. He's trying to fit his music into an equation.
Yep.
But you're a Drake guy?
I was an early Drake guy, which I would.
A guy who makes calculated music. He found
it's
an
Aubrey
equation.
Drake Graham for sure.
He found an equation, and he's been writing that equation since 2010.
Yeah. I like the early 2010 stuff. Like Summer 16 is about the last time where I was like really like Drake stan.
I was out on Views.
Yeah,
Views was when
I like Views. I like Views. See,
if you're reading this is too late. Was fine.
That's where I started teetering.
But Views, I punted. The hits off those, the top 40 hits, I'm fine with.
Yeah.
One Dance and Control, I'm in on those. But everything else on Views, I was out. And I haven't listened to a Drake album since.
No, I mean, like, it's not even that I'm necessarily out on music. It's just I listen to podcasts like all day, all night. If I'm doing anything in my life, like even at home, dishes, laundry, anything, I'm listening to a podcast.
Sure.
And I wouldn't even say I dislike music. It's just I have a lot of people in my life who really love music, like the same way that I love and can talk about sports.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people in my life who are that way with music.
Sure.
And I would just never say I love music. Like I like me. I only listen to people that I know, and a lot of those people are like not mainstream, but like very select people.
Sure.
Like I don't look for the hottest underground rapper, the newest Lil whatever. And I'd hate to age myself here. I sound like I'm 98 years old, but I don't check up on music. So I just like what I like. And Bruno Mars and Steph Curry are two things that I definitely dislike.
Steph dropping 50 in a game 7 probably didn't help your.
See, but here's the difference: is I respect Steph, the basketball player. Like I respect what he does, and I can fully acknowledge how ridiculous he is. Like he's top, keeps moving up and up all the time, but he's top 10 guaranteed all time. Like I will argue against someone who has to say otherwise.
Okay.
I recognize Steph's greatness. It's just, it just really annoys me and bothers me. Like his light the beam thing yesterday, mid-game, where he slams up, like that's corny, bro. Like that's so corny. Like that's premeditated and it's corny as hell. And he does it for he crip walks on the floor. He has the babyface. I really had to analyze the babyface assassin nickname because it does fit. Because it's just like, you don't think that this guy with this unassuming look is, and he's a nice guy, you always hear him and he's a respectful guy. You don't think that he would be the one to be dancing on your grave, but that fool will literally, like, as he's ending your season, dance on your logo at center court. And I just it just blows my mind that people are like, like, how fun. That's so cute. Instead of being like, that guy is showboating and he's kind of being an ass right now. Like, I can't believe that it's more just I can't believe it's so popular. And that's like,
sure,
I feel that same way. Now we're just going into things that Chris randomly hates. Stranger Things,
great.
Same thing.
You're out of oh my
it's
god.
More just like I get it, I understand it, but like, how does everyone in the world think that this is awesome? No one's like, yeah, like it's okay, it's all right for me, but like it's not everybody. It's like this is the greatest thing I've ever seen. This is the most fun I've ever had. Which for
I
sure.
am team Stranger Things. It's fine.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
I like
Thank
it.
you. But people talk about it like it's this new. I mean, it is a phenomenon. But
your issue is not the content; it's the hyperbolic language that we approach everything with.
Boom, Kyle. Thank you for wow.
You're
That's
welcome.
Beautiful.
I'm glad we figured this out.
I am too, because I feel crazy sometimes. I really do.
We're talking Kings in Game 7. Tim, get us back on track, please. Tim,
Tim,
help.
All right, help you guys get back on track. Let's get back on track.
My man, what do you want to say?
Okay, Game 7's over. Are you guys rooting for Golden State moving forward? I mean, I know it's another Cali matchup coming up with the Lakers. What do you guys want to see? Lakers? You want to see Curry or Bron win another chip?
It's tough. It is tough.
I think I decided I'm going to root for the Warriors.
That doesn't surprise me. I
can't do that.
Yeah, I actually agree. You can't do that. No.
I'm not pulling for the Lakers. I'm not pulling for SoCal. I just can't after what the Lakers mean to Sacramento and where the place they hold in Kings lore. I just can't. I can't do it.
I hate the Lakers, but this doesn't feel like a traditional Laker team to me. That's how I feel. Like and I'm really a Bron guy too. But
oh boy, this is tough.
This is tough. This is super tough for me right now. But I'm not willing to go on record right now and say that I'm going to pick the Warriors or the Lakers. I'm not going to be rooting for anybody, but I will not be upset to see the Warriors' demise. And I would also, I think I might be pulling for the Lakers, actually.
Wow.
I think I might be.
Wow.
Because watching the Warriors succeed is one of my least favorite activities over the past 10 years. And I don't know if that's going to change. I've also been a Bron guy for like almost my entire life. I've definitely rooted for LeBron's success, and obviously the Warriors have came at they've came to heads several times, and I've traditionally gone on the Bron side of things. So I'm going to continue to say I'll root for Bron. I don't know if I'll root for the Lakers.
I think I'm going to pull for the Warriors.
That's big.
Let's actually thanks. Let's talk about the West actually.
Yeah.
Who do you think is going to come out of the West? Is it the winner of Warriors Lakers? We'll talk about that on the other side. That's Chris and Kyle. It's Chris and Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
They will be facing off with the Los Angeles Lakers game number 1 on Tuesday night.
All right, we'll take a break. When we come back,
now Jason's sad.
You made Jason sad with your music.
You made Jason sad.
You played the music.
You told me to play it. I am the producer. I produce.
I disagree.
Okay. Wow.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross. Weekday mornings from 6 to 10 on Sactown Sports.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
At Lowe's, we're always bringing pros more ways to save on the brands you trust. Right now, save up to $50 on select Tough Built products, including the new exclusive Tough Built steel head framing hammer. Plus, you'll always save big on job lot quantities when buying select building supplies in bulk. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Must ask cashier to apply discount at time of purchase. Online discount is automatically applied in card. See Lowe's.com or associate for more details and qualifying items. Lowe's reserves the right to limit quantities. Discount taken at time of purchase. Valid through 5/5.
Jiffy Lube's Country in the Park, Northern California's biggest country music festival of the year, is back this weekend at Cal Expo, starring Lady A, Chris Young, Brett Aldridge,
What you doing, baby? Don't you?
and so many more. Plus a Blue Scoop Line Dance Saloon, interactive lounges, and Sacramento's best food trucks. Weekend passes start at just $80. Tickets are on sale now at SactownSports.com. Country in the Park, brought to you by International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 340, and Stoney's Rockin' Rodeo.
I can't wait for what's next. Even with higher stroke risk due to atrial fibrillation, an irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Eliquis, the Pixaban tablets, reduces stroke risk. It's the #1 cardiologist prescribed blood thinner.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without talking to your doctor, as this may increase your risk of stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or have antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or unusual bruising, or if you have tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. It may increase your bleeding risk if you take medicines such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
There's really nothing better than hitting the open road in a new Honda. And at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda, we are proud to provide our best selection to get you there. Buying from Stockton Honda couldn't be smoother. Wherever the road you travel might lead, Stockton Honda is happy to get you there.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
#1 claim based on 2022 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's own report.
Great team, great team. Where's the defense? Defense! Okay, everyone take a break. Greetings, Sacramento. Doug Christie here for the Good Feet store, asking, when is something too good to be true? When it probably is. And had I not experienced it for myself, this spectacular season would definitely qualify as too good to be true. So everyone out there in Radio Land, continue to enjoy. Something else that could seem too good to be true is Good Feet Arch Supports. But trust me, I've experienced firsthand the comfort, balance, and support possible with Good Feet Arch Supports. And so have countless others who have pretty much given up hope. It's time you felt good again. Take your feet to the Good Feet store for a free personalized arch support fitting and test walk. Experience for yourself the comfort, balance, and support missing in your life. The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, Stockton, Modesto, and now Vacaville, online at goodfeet.com.
Sactown Sports
Headlines. I'm Chris Verlato with your Sactown Sports Headlines. Sacramento Kings' dream season came to an end yesterday when they lost to the Warriors 120-100 in Game 7 at home. Warriors guard Steph Curry had a monster game, scoring 50 points along with 8 rebounds and 6 assists. The Warriors will now host the Los Angeles Lakers on Tuesday in the Western Conference semifinals. There was some good news today for the Kings. According to our Sactown Sports Kings insider, Frankie Cardicelli, De'Aaron Fox said that his fractured finger should be fully healed in 2 to 3 weeks and that there is no need for surgery. There are 2 NBA games today. First will be the Boston Celtics hosting the Philadelphia 76ers for Game 1 of their series. 76ers center Joel Embiid is listed as doubtful tonight with a knee sprain. ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Embiid will unlikely play tonight in Game 1. That game will be followed by the Suns at the Nuggets. Nuggets currently have a 1-game lead after their 125-107 win over the Suns on Saturday. Those are your headlines. Now let's get back to Chris and company with Kyle Madsen.
Watch Chris and company now. YouTube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
I'm Kyle Madsen. That's Chris Watkins.
Yeah,
He hates everything. He doesn't like anything. If you like it, Chris hates it.
Yep, probably.
When the boss comes in and says, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Brian came in and I was like, our program director, Brian, came in at the break and he was like, uh-oh. Like, what happened? He's like, you don't like Bruno Mars? You don't like art? King's exit interviews going on right now. A couple interesting notes from that. You said something about Trey Lyles right as we were coming back.
Yeah, Trey Lyles says that, quote, returning is honestly my #1 priority. Trey Lyles.
The bag, not his number one priority?
No, Trey's a team guy, you know.
I love that for him.
He understands. He understands.
I rock with Trey Lyles, dude. I'm in on Trey Lyles.
Got a new Trey Bay.
I'm sorry?
Trey Bay?
Trey Bay.
A Trey Bay before anyone else.
Oh, 2 words.
Trey Bay.
Yeah. A person
who is Bay for Trey.
I hate that. I hate that a lot. I don't like him anymore. I don't want to be part of this group.
Yeah, we're having a tough time getting members.
I feel like you're trying to really like curate a vibe with the Trey Bay thing, and I'm out on it because of that.
If you make Chris hate Trey Lyles, I'm gonna hate you.
Yeah. I don't think anything can change for my.
I'm just doing some research here. It turns out there's a whole Reddit thread dedicated to how awesome Trey Lyles is.
Yeah, it's me.
I just know he just comes in and he just does it. He just puts in work, does a job. I like players like that. Domantas Sabonis had his exit interview, and he got asked actually. So we heard earlier from Draymond Green talking about how he doesn't respect Sabonis because he didn't come out and shake the Warriors' hands after. I get it, but according to James Ham, Domantas Sabonis had nothing to say about Draymond Green's comments. Here's what he said.
Tomas?
Hello? Yeah, Tomas to drink?
Anything?
No. Yeah, nothing.
Nothing
to say.
Had absolutely nothing for Draymond.
That's a bummer. I get that he wants to just like
right.
I wish he'd had a little something for him.
Say something, man. Come on. Like you're not gonna play him again. You're not gonna see him for another 4 months. Throw a little jab in there.
Draymond might not even be on the Warriors this time next year. So
facts. That's actually a fact.
It's actually a fact.
It's crazy. Say something, Domas. Come on. Like you're telling me you're just gonna leave it there. Come on, give us something, man. Like season's ending. We need to fill another segment.
I would be surprised if Sabonis said anything about it.
I would have been shocked. Yeah.
I mean, him saying that doesn't belong in the game. I was like, whoa.
Oh, yeah. Domas has some hot takes, has some strong feelings.
Domas really mad.
Whoa.
Yeah. So
I would have liked to see
that's what's going on.
I would have liked to see a Draymond Sabonis feud fueled forward.
Is Trey Lyles the Kings free agent that you most hope comes back?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
More than Harrison Barnes?
Yes.
I was pretty bummed by Harrison Barnes in the series.
Yes. Yes.
This is great.
Yeah.
No, not that like, because the whole like his last couple series with the Warriors, specifically his last 3 playoff games against the Cavs, it didn't go well.
Did not.
Yeah, they lost all 3. Obviously, they blow that 3-1 lead. He doesn't shoot it well. He doesn't shoot it particularly well. And so him coming into this series, watching him miss a potential game-winning shot, and then come up really small in a game 7.
Yeah.
It was just like, man, this feels like this is a trend now.
Yeah. I mean, it's especially where it's like, this is a team full of inexperienced guys, and for him to be the most experienced and to be the guy who all his entire tenure here in Sacramento was kind of the guy that everyone looked for to be that supreme veteran and set the example for everybody. Didn't set a great example in this postseason.
I think so when they acquired him, they were in the middle of trying to get into a playoff spot.
Figure things out, right.
Right. And it was like, oh, he can, that was what, 2018?
Yeah. And it was also, they traded Justin Jackson and the last half season of Zach Randolph for him. So it's a great value.
Sure.
Good player.
Yeah.
Makes sense to take the
Willie
quote
go in that
unquote
trade?
risk. No, not in that one.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
But they bring in Harrison Barnes, and it was like, hey, he can play the 3, he can play the 4, he's switchable on defense. And he just kind of turned into this person who was going to help them get to the playoffs and then trying to kind of usher them forward. And it feels like they've reached the end point.
Yes, I agree.
Like, okay, you've done all you're going to do for this team. They need someone better. I think he can still help a team, but they need somebody that can elevate their game in a way that he just can't.
Yeah. I mean, Harrison Barnes is also he's 30 years old. This is this was a contract year for him, the year that probably should have shown out the most. And for him to give that performance, and especially to me, that's the most obvious spot where the Kings can get a lot better. Like if they can upgrade that Harrison Barnes spot, to me, especially significantly, if they can get whatever, we'll throw out the Paul George, Jimmy Butler, that level of guy or somebody just below that. And those guys are a dime a dozen.
Jaylen Brown?
Hey, now I would take.
Dude,
hey,
of course.
Come on.
We were talking earlier. Can De'Aaron be a one on a title team? I think he can if the two is Jaylen Brown.
Absolutely.
Like that is where I also, another thing from this series in game 7, I went into it thinking like, man, if Dante DiVincenzo was on the Kings, they'd really be cooking with something.
I said the same thing during
But
game 7.
He was so bad in the series.
Unplayable.
Really? He was so good for Golden State this year. And then just got into the playoffs and disappeared.
Just nothing. I think had like one good game.
Yeah, I think it
like,
was game 5.
Yeah.
Game 4.
It might have been
game 5.
It was one of the, I think it was game 4 because I'm pretty sure
it was at Chase. Yeah, he was just really good getting rebounds and playing defense.
Doing the Dante thing. Yeah. Everything you would want from Dante.
And then just, oof.
Yeah. Was not, I might have, I definitely said some foolish things when it comes to Dante as well. I thought he could have been a real contributor. And there was points where I was like, Monk and Herter are cool, but Dante's like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah.
And, we could have Davion's defense with Malik's shooting and, turns out old takes.
Did you come out of the series feeling any different about Kevin Herter? Because I kind of did.
That's interesting. Regular season Kevin Herter, no, but I think moving forward into the postseason,
I don't think
tough.
I don't think they're at the point yet where they go into this offseason. I don't think they're at the point where it's like, okay, building for a like championship where you have to assess is postseason Kevin Herter.
Right.
Like, no, I still think he's going to shoot 40% next year from 3.
Right.
38, 39, 40% in that range is going to be super valuable. You have to keep him around. But if they go to the postseason next year and he struggles again, now you're looking at 30 plus games, 40 plus games where he's struggled to shoot threes in the playoffs. That's a trend now.
Yeah. I that's where I get concerned is like how much can you rely on Kevin Herter in a playoff series if this continues? Like you said, it feels like next year they're probably not going to make that big of an adjustment. I think Kevin played well enough throughout the season to justify keeping his spot in the starting lineup and trying to make things work. But yeah, I mean, if this is going to continue, if this is who Kevin Herter is in the playoffs, you might have to consider maybe getting another quality shooting guard. Malik Monk was great, but him and Kevin really do different things. They don't do the same thing. You might need somebody else to play that role because some guys just can't. It's too big of a role for him.
Just to put some numbers to this, Kevin Herter in his first 7 playoff games. This is when he was in Atlanta. So this is the 2020-2021 season. He shoots 48.5% from 3 in his first 7 playoff games. Just blistering, right?
Yeah.
Since then, he's played in, let's see, that was 7. So since then, he's played in 23 playoff games, and he's shooting 25.8% from 3. Yikes.
25?
25.8, yeah. Not good.
Not good for a shooter. For somebody who's
that's what he does.
That's what he does.
And he was good. He was good in games like getting into the lane. Had a little floater
he had
game.
A little floater game, right?
A lot of hustle on defense.
Yeah.
Was not a player the Warriors could just like target and say like, hey, go cook him. But if he's not knocking down threes, his value just plummets
completely,
man.
And it makes, I mean, that's the kind of thing where it's like, it makes you wonder. A lot of people were talking, do you start Davion Mitchell into the starting line? Like
the fact we talked about on this show.
That's how bad things got at one point. And you just got to hope that moving forward, again, this is his first time having that big of a role for a team in the postseason. So maybe you hope that, kind of like everything, this was just a learning lesson that he can build on. But definitely, to your point, we have enough games here that it's a good enough sample size that you can realistically have some really, really big questions about him.
Real quick, before we hit the break, I want to look at the NBA playoffs just as a whole now.
Yeah.
Who do you think comes out of the West?
I think it's going to be whoever wins the Nuggets-Suns series.
I think it's going to be Denver.
Yeah. It feels
Denver
looks
really good.
Denver looks really good. I'm not willing to count out the Suns yet just because of the star power that Kevin Durant and Booker factor. But the Nuggets are the deepest team. They might have the best player. They might, especially if he plays to the level that we've seen. And then Jamal Murray, the guy who
that's it.
That's the X factor for them. The fact that they have Jamal Murray back to being Jamal Murray.
Aaron Gordon playing really well.
Incredible.
Michael Porter Jr. They're very, very
They're
good.
stacked, and they have good role players too. That's where they're going to expose Phoenix. I think is just their depth.
Yeah, and I think and I think Michael Malone's a good enough coach.
Yes,
that just Devin Booker, Kevin Durant is not gonna. That's why I think I'm with you. I don't think this Lakers Warriors series, I don't think the winner of that is going to have the gas in the tank.
Exactly.
To go hang with Denver.
I think the Warriors have the talent, but we just saw how beat they were after 7 games with Sacramento. Who knows how long this Lakers series will go, but I can't imagine in a month. Like if the Warriors are still playing in 3 weeks, how tired they're going to be.
Every other day in the second round.
The Warriors play tomorrow. They play game 1 tomorrow.
Yes.
I would bet on the Lakers to win that game. I mean, just
Warriors are favored by 4.5.
That's
wild, dude.
Wild.
The public betting on the Warriors nuts.
That's crazy.
I have Boston coming out of the East.
Yeah,
they're the healthiest.
They're the healthiest. I think even Embiid's going to be questioned.
Yeah.
Unlikely for game 1. It feels like Boston's going to roll through, especially now with Milwaukee. We're missing a Milwaukee Boston.
I know.
That would have been a great conference finals, but instead we'll get Jimmy Butler.
Speaking of Milwaukee, Rami of Cattles and Rami.
Hey,
going to come in next.
Yeah.
We're going to chat with him about game 7, all the stuff we've been talking about today. And then one thing from this series I want to reflect on and really make sure that we're driving home as my most positive part of this series and of this season. Let's do that on the other side.
Yeah.
Chris Company on Sactown Sports 1140.
It was an amazing season for the Sacramento Kings. The coach of the year.
These honors don't come around often, and so you're very appreciative of them.
The clutch player of the year.
Rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
And a return to the playoffs for the first time in 17 years.
16 seasons of frustration. Sacramento has clinched the playoffs.
Keep it on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com for all your Kings off-season news.
When you take the time to shop at Folsom Lake Honda, there's one thing you'll always find. Happy people ready to serve you. As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Looking to own or lease? During the spring sales event, drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Selling your home can be stressful. Scott Marsh here to tell you about Bridgehaven Homes. They are a local home buying company that offers homeowners an easier way to sell their home. Bridgehaven Homes gives you an all-cash offer for your home, no matter what the condition, within 24 hours. You pick the date you wish to close and sell on your terms. No repairs, no showings, and no realtor commissions. Call 916-299-6040. That's 916-299-6040 or bridgehavenhomes.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity 10G, the next generation network. Well, the A's have a great story in pitcher Mason Miller, diagnosed with juvenile diabetes in 2018. He got bigger and stronger, and by the time he made his big league debut on the last homestand against the Cubs, after only 28 2/3 innings in the minor leagues, he threw 15 pitches at 100 miles an hour or faster, topping out at 102.5. Ken Korak here, introducing you to the Xfinity 10G network. Xfinity is undergoing a multi-year network evolution, giving you a powerful connection today while building toward a faster, more reliable tomorrow. The Xfinity 10G network gives you the fastest internet with even faster speeds rolling out all the time. You also get a consistent and reliable connection when everyone's online, even during peak hours. That's a home run. If you want to learn more, go online at xfinity.com/10G.
Get to Acura of Stockton, where precision-crafted performance is at your fingertips. Elevate your driving experience with a vehicle that's built to impress. Acura of Stockton has a great selection of new Acuras and customer service that will exceed your expectations. And right now, lease a new Acura TLX, MDX, or Integra with low lease rates available. Take luxury to a whole new level in a new Acura from Acura of Stockton and AcuraofStockton.com.
Progressive Insurance protects people's cars, homes, and other vehicles. But if you've ever seen our commercials or even just heard our name, you probably already knew that. What you may not know is that we support Humble Design, a nonprofit that furnishes homes for families and veterans emerging from homelessness. Because a little help goes a long way. And a lot of help, well, you get the idea. Now, if you already knew all of this about Progressive Insurance, we're impressed. We'll have to find something else cool to tell you next time. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
A lot of new enrollments, huh? Braylon, Braden.
Monique's daycare is crawling with new arrivals.
Hey, sweetie, are you hungry?
She needs more early childhood educators.
Did your sock slip off again?
And a nap.
Hey there, little guy. Okay. Shh. Whoa.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
ACR Solar and Home Services is here to help you, just like they helped me. Jason Ross here, and ACR did a great job for my family, bringing their impeccable reputation and great workmanship to keep my family covered with a brand new roof. Now we're comfortable and dry during Sacramento's rainy season, knowing our home's structural integrity is protected. Our value is increased, and the home itself, well, it's looking and functioning at its best. The proof, it's in our roof. Now, you could get this same quality experience with ACR Solar and Home Services. Just go to acrsolar.com now to sign up for a free estimate and see all that they have to offer, not only to protect your home and family during the cold and wet Sacramento weather, but also including premium made in the USA solar electric systems. That's acrsolar.com. ACR Solar and Home Services is bringing us all the highest quality, highest value, and integrity since 1979. Go to acrsolar.com. That's acrsolar.com.
Keeping you company with the company. It's Chris and Company with Chris Watkins on Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Final segment, Kyle Madsen, Chris Watkins, Chris and Company. Rami of Rami and Cattles fame is in the building. Cattles and Rami. I put you at the top of the.
I like that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's in my next contract.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do
Rami and Cattles. Yes.
It's cleaner.
It is cleaner. Right? Isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, no, I think that's why I said it.
I think it rolls off the tongue a little better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
All right.
Next contract.
Very good.
Yes.
Tough loss yesterday.
It was.
How do you cope with the bad loss?
Yesterday, particularly, how did I cope with the loss?
Yeah.
I was tired because it was an early tip-off. And so I went home and I took a nap, and then I was like, this apartment's dirty and there's still a lot of day left. Let me clean up this apartment and order some Chinese food.
Are you
and then I watched Succession. That's how I coped with the day.
I'm not caught up.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, you get lost in something else. You know what I mean?
Yes, I think that's
preferably something juicy. You know what I mean? Something juicy that you can really get into.
Yeah, definitely not Orange is the New Black.
I never got into
that. I watched after the Warriors last game.
They're not still making that.
No, I hope not.
All right. Okay.
After the Warriors, that show jumped the shark, and I bounced in like season 4 or 5. But after the Warriors lost Game 7 of the 2016 Finals, I turned on an episode of Orange is the New Black to try and separate myself from sports. And it was just this emotionally just crippling episode.
There you go. That's perfect, though. That's perfect.
Wrenching, awful death
that's
of
great.
a beloved character. It just was like, oh my God. So I just turn the TV off, go for a walk.
Yeah, the sun.
Yeah, man.
Yesterday was rough. And I know, Chris, you were in the building.
Yeah.
I was also in the building, and that second half was rough. Like literally you felt the air being let out of the Golden One Center slowly.
It was dead silent.
It was
like
quiet.
Come that fourth quarter, it was like everyone was like,
that's the like downside of, obviously if you're playing a Game 7, you want it to be at home.
Right.
But while you get that energy boost as the crowd tightens, like that also.
And you could feel it on the court, I'm sure. You could feel like the crowd really tightening up and being like, oh, I don't think they believe in us.
Yeah. And then another offensive rebound. And another,
They're still offensive.
What did you do yesterday to cope, Chris? How did you
play some video games?
Okay.
I did do the post game show, which was tough. That was pretty tough.
That can be therapeutic, though. Get some stuff off your chest, right?
Yeah, immediate thoughts, just get them out, thought dump a little. It was nice to see other people kind of sympathizing as well. You know, it was a common shared safe space for everybody to be in. But
absolutely,
but
group therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Group therapy. It was a nice little session, and the common theme was don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah, there you go.
Also
it's
cry
a beautiful thought.
You can cry. Also
Nothing
feel
wrong
free to
with
cry. There's nothing wrong with crying at all.
I ugly cry in the mirror like twice a week. It's great for the soul.
Strong men also cry, Mr. Lebowski.
Exactly.
That's right. That's right.
I don't know that reference.
Big Lebowski. I've seen that movie.
Put that one together.
I've seen that one. Anyways,
I feel Chris fuming about the fact that I haven't seen.
Oh no,
Big
I don't
Lebowski.
care.
Oh, okay. I just saw you like look away.
You should know, like the person
Yeah,
in the
I've
building that cares the least about other people's opinion. Like, oh yeah.
Chris Sneaky cares about. How do you feel about Bruno Mars?
I like him.
Chris is out on Bruno Mars.
Out? Just
Yeah.
out completely?
Yeah. Just
Really?
The wedding song. I said it
He
feels
has
too
the
calculated.
audacity to
You
try
know
and
Nick Cattles
sell
will
records.
physically fight you about this,
Yeah, I'm
right?
waiting. I'm waiting. He's gonna bust in here
bust
like
into
Kool-Aid
the
Man.
studio any second now and put the Dukes up.
Yeah.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
where you at?
What
Where you
do you
at?
have? What do you have
I'm
against
with him.
Bruno Mars? What's wrong with Bruno Mars?
It just
Tell him it's because Bruno Mars tries to sell records. Go.
Okay, I just think.
no, God forbid
I
he
just
tries
think
to be
it's-
successful.
I think it's too calculated. I just feel like he's making music for like, hey, girl, I really want to marry you. Like, come on, like that's obviously going to be played at a wedding.
I think I want to marry you.
What? Okay, well, exactly. Proof that I'm not just lying here. I actually don't
Not
listen.
every song is like. Not every song is that.
Just all the biggest ones.
He's a talented man.
Also, like my introduction to Bruno Mars was that song with B.O.B. Beautiful Girl. Hated that one too. Just terrible. I just think I don't know. I just haven't.
So you heard a song in like 2006, and you're like,
I just mean I was
screw
out
this
from the
guy
beginning.
forever.
I think I was just out from the beginning,
That's
and
fair,
I
I
viewed him
guess.
in that for that song, and then I saw him do this massive shift to commercial music, and it's just way too commercial for me.
I didn't know anyone
You're more
had.
of an underground.
Yeah, you know,
I knew he
from
had big
these
fans.
streets.
I didn't know anybody had like strong feelings the other way about Bruno Mars. I
See,
just
yeah,
figured
right.
you either loved him or just didn't care. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I didn't
No.
know that there were people.
Makes me upset.
Wow,
Chris, like
what
it makes me upset.
What are your thoughts on Tom Hanks?
I don't think I have. Oh no, I've seen one Tom Hanks movie.
What is happening? in
One
this
single
world?
Tom Hanks movie, and it's Green Mile.
That's the only
That's the
Tom
one
Hanks movie.
Tom
I've
That's
ever
the
seen?
only Tom Hanks movie I have seen. Never seen Forrest Gump.
Castaway?
Never seen Castaway. Give me another Tom Hanks movie I haven't seen.
League of Their Own.
Oh,
Never
League of
seen
Their
it.
Oh, such a good movie.
Never seen it.
I've not seen any movies, and I'm. We used to have a bit when I was on the morning show with Dave. We made a list of movies that I like had to watch that I had never seen, and then I would come on air and
Yeah,
review them.
give like a book.
So I
report
finally
on it.
watched like all
I did
the
that
Rocky
bit in
movies.
another city. I must have stole that from
Yeah.
Dave too. Even
Yeah.
though I didn't know
Watkins,
who
you've
he
seen
was.
Toy Story, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a child.
Tom Hanks.
Tom
Oh,
Hanks.
for sure.
Hanks.
Okay.
Oh,
there you go.
nice. Good
There
call.
you
Good
go,
pull.
bud.
That's a good pull.
Yeah.
Is Woody.
But that's not a Tom
Apollo
Hanks movie,
13?
though.
Stop it.
Apollo 13? No.
No.
Wow.
No.
My mind is blown.
Bachelor Party.
That's
Bachelor-
a good
no.
one. That's a good one.
No. Is it
That's
like
a
The
really good
Hangover?
one.
Joe versus
Big?
a volcano.
You've never seen Big?
No.
Oh man. Oh.
I haven't seen anything.
Wow.
Like I have not seen
Chris is more of a podcast guy.
more of a podcast guy.
It's the
dude.
off season now. Go watch some movies and come back and report to us.
At Chris's house, there's just a room with headphones and just blank walls where you just
I really go vibe out to podcasts. You know, Zach Lowe.
If and when we do a show together again, we'll find a movie to watch
Okay.
that neither of us has seen.
Yes.
And then we'll talk about
That'd be
it.
great.
I
Oh, that would
I'm
be
great
great.
at this. You give me something that you guys are in
Chris
the feeling
was just
for.
telling me the other day how much he loves doing this. Like
And
if
I
you
will
give
find
him
it.
3 characteristics or traits about a
Okay.
movie,
Great.
he will find the perfect movie.
Awesome.
My fear with
We're gonna
Chris
do
doing
this.
that is Chris likes bad movies.
But no, I don't
Like,
want
he
to give
enjoys
you like a
bad
bad movie.
Okay. But also as someone who enjoys bad movies, I'm afraid
I enjoy movies.
You do.
I
You do
enjoy good movies. I
Yes.
enjoy bad
You do.
movies. I
Yes,
enjoy
very true.
So movies.
That is true. I should trust you more.
What do you guys got coming up today?
We're going to talk about the Kings, guys. And the G-Man joins us at 4:15.
I
Yes.
love that
Yes,
for
sir.
you guys. Yeah.
Again, group therapy. Get on the couch.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about what went
Yeah.
wrong and why we're not talking about, Kings Lakers today.
I heard a rumor that Mike Breen might also be joining the.
Really?
Bang!
Oh, he pops it
You
out.
think- am I breaking news for you?
I swear I missed that
not
note.
prep for that.
Swear to God, I missed that
Mayor,
note
what
in the
time's
chat.
Mike Breen?
Wow, Mike
3:45?
3:45?
2:15.
2:15.
2:15.
2:15.
Bang.
And then you said
Wait,
G-Man
he's
at
like coming on
4:15.
in
Where is
15
Oh,
minutes.
sorry, 3:15.
Oh, I was like,
That's not in the chat. I'm looking at
Okay,
it right
everybody,
now. I can
everybody
show you on
pause.
my app.
He's gonna go. Mike Breen 3:15. G-Man
4:15.
4:15. Lock in.
Where was that
Ron-
said? I don't have this.
Cattles
Why
and
don't I
Rami.
have this?
Cattles and
I'm
Rami's
looking right
next.
at it.
It's in our guest.
Cattles and Rami.
Hey, Kelly get weirded out by how into games you get because my girlfriend
no,
still
she's-